Back. It's like I was never gone, even though I was. Should I just restart the whole evening? Hey guys, how's your day going? It's crazy. Well, that worked quite well. I have tea. My monitor's just turned off, so I have no idea what you guys are saying. We are now going to be focused on raid. We had a bit of fun. We played a different game. I generally don't like playing too many different games on the channel because I think people, you know, I don't want to dilute the channel's purpose. Is that the right word? So, but every so often it's nice to play a different game, right? It's nice to change it up a bit. So we're back on raid. So how's everyone doing? Let me turn this down a bit. So, what is everyone up to today? It's a bonus stream. It's a bonus stream. You're getting, like, more of me. Almost sleeping. Okay. More cat in the background. The problem is, I'm going to set up at some point, I'll probably set up a cat camera, some if people want it, but she has, like, 4 places she sleeps. She has a donut bed. She's taken to now sleeping on the tower on the left over there. But she's also got 2 beds on the tower, but she's decided she doesn't want the other bed anymore. She wants the top one. She sleeps in the chair by there, and then every so often she'll decide to wander. It's quite annoying. So, I don't know. At what point does it become like a CCTV event, you know? Still working. Oof. So obviously it's the last day of CVC. I need to jump over to the main account in a minute just to make sure that I've done everything over there. But I've been playing the free-to-play a bit. Today, I need to get some 6 stars done. So I'm trying to farm for the damn Relic Keeper champions because I realized I don't have the farmable rares. So I've been trying to get the farmable rares out of campaign, and it's proven to be more complicated and challenging than I once anticipated. 24-hour stream when? Good lord. I could probably do it, actually. I could probably do it. Right, sorry, I just answered a few messages there. Wow, it lost. Okay. The free-to-play here is literally just throw random champions in and see what they can do. Like, to be honest, like, Altan's in there, I guess, for some crazy reason that I don't really know why. Rhonda should probably be over here instead. Right, so where was I? Am I enjoying it again? So, yeah, I think so. It's nice coming back now, not having the stress and pressure of competing. Because I'm generally quite I wouldn't say I'm a competitive person, but if there's a competition to be had, then I don't like losing. And I get pretty hopeless when I start losing. So it's nice that I can come back now and go, look, I'm the only competition is myself. There's no way that I can catch up with the other guys. I don't want to. It's nice to kind of like, you know, show off some achievements and gains and stuff. But what I didn't want to what I was really struggling with towards the end of it was like trying to match with other people. It's just, and not being able to. It was very stressful. It doesn't work for my mentality. So it's nice to come back and have new challenges to do. I'm just working through trying to figure out some solutions for clan boss and stuff. So I cannot find a use for Altan. I'll be honest. I've not used him at all so far. He's just kind of like a champion that eventually I'll figure out something for maybe. But right now I just don't know what to do with him. New fragment event easy pass. I'll do it on my main, but I'm not, like, even if my free-to-play was in a good position, I wouldn't be rushing to do it on a free-to-play. I personally don't think the champion gives you any more. Like, take Earbad, for example. Earbad's got Supreme Elhain. So why does he need another nuker? Because he hasn't got the legendary books on the free-to-play to actually throw around. So he's probably going to book, if he needed a nuker, he's going to go to Supreme Elhain. So then you go, okay, well, what about drop defense? And you go like, well, in reality, you can just get War Maiden or Deacon, right? I've got like 3 drop defense champions in my account that I can just use. And War Maiden's on the same faction as well. So it's like, it's not even like it's good for faction war. So I think of all of them, I think she's the most skippable. I'm probably being a bit harsh or a bit memeish when I'm saying she's a golden War Maiden. She's probably better than that. But I do think there's not enough uniqueness. And in terms of like fusions that you can skip, normally you can skip fusions where there's nothing unique about them. So like, for example, Oella having that increased resistance in the passive and the turn meter boosting at the same time, paired with the fact it was Sylvan Watcher's faction, so unless you did Elva, your support options were quite limited, made her not a fusion you could skip. Same as Supreme Elhain. She had unique passives that might get useful in the future. Maybe there's something that with lots of debuffs. Like, she did scale extremely hard if you could get debuffs out. So she's maybe not ideal right now for the current meta because debuffs are kind of useless because of polymorph. But if something was to change in the future, then she would instantly, with a few debuffs, become one of the strongest nukers in the game. So again, wasn't skippable. Razelvarg, unique passive. You don't skip that. And then, who was the other one that we had? I forget the champion at the start of the year. You know, Mighty Uko had a unique passive. You don't skip it. So the things you can kind of skip are the things like this champion. She has no unique passives. She's basically an AoE drop defense with damage. It's kind of what she does. So there's not going to be any future content that comes out that she happens to be particularly better at than anyone else, because there's going to be stronger damage dealers than her every single time. And there's always going to be better drop defense options. Pythian, yeah, like Pythian did something that no other champion did apart from Duchess, and was a reviver, was a cleanser, so much more power. Gnishak, probably the best bomb champion in the game, so it was not skippable. So that's how you kind of look at fusions and go, can I skip this fusion? Is, well, what are you losing if you skip it? And I would say this champion, you don't lose an awful lot, if anything, I would say. I think they just need to take a little bit of polymorph's power away by basically maybe making it so that it's only when you apply a debuff. Maybe you make it so that it's only a 1 turn. Maybe you make it so that the turn meter that to actually take a turn isn't reset to like 100. It's actually set at your current champion speed, so you can build fast debuffers. It's just too punishing right now. To be polymorphed is too punishing. Yeah, so like if you can do the fusion, you should always definitely try to do it because it's 3 points, right? Free CVC. Putting actually on polymorph would be also a very good option, right? It's too easy to slot and it's too punishing. The combination of that means it's just, you know, it's just not good. Same faction. That's fine. I'll just do you. Malbranch. I mean, we're probably going to lose this, I'll be honest. I don't even think these guys are built. Does he have any damage? Nope. Let's just skip that. Not really interested. Any PvP blessings that you feel are heavily underrated? I don't know if it's underrated, but I feel like Life Harvest is very strong. And I feel like Lightning Cage is very strong for nukers. I don't feel like Soul Reapers is good, but Life Harvest would be the one that I would lean towards, that I think it should be picked more often. So this is the problem with Altan, right? This skill reads really well. The problem is you need to have debuffs to get a heal. So you don't, like, I feel like this skill should have been heals this champion by 10%, and then another 10% for every debuff he cleanses, and also, like, the damage should increase, like, increases damage for 10% for each debuff removed. Okay, maybe that's fine. But you can see, like, it hits hard. Like, watch this. If that crits, it hits pretty hard. It's like 15,000. The problem is just, without the debuffs, it's just a little bit weak. That's what it comes down to for me. Without the debuffs, it's all just a little bit too weak. You know, that's pretty cool to put people to sleep if I had accuracy, but I don't. We're going to have Kale Warfare now. Do I have enough damage before they kill me? Probably not. Oh, maybe I do. Oh, Kale Warfare. Kale on Kale action. I win. Mr. Adidaithi, by the way, guys. What a monster of a champion. What a monster. Right, so pretty much that's all done. Cool. Right, let's just jump across to the main account a second, just to make sure I've done everything on the main account, because I can't remember where I got to. That's the wrong account. That one. Today I had polymorph in 3 of my champions too fast. Yeah. It's awful, polymorph, it is. Yeah, like that's what I said. Like what I would say, what I've been saying to people with this fusion, my personal opinion is, if you are feeling burnt out, if you're feeling particularly tired with fusions, you feel like you need a break, then this is the fusion to do it on, right? The next fusion isn't going to be as basic as this one, because that's the problem with this fusion. It's basic. There's not a lot going on with it. Right. Have I done all my dailies first? Yes. 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 Okay, cool. Let's just do 1 live arena just so I don't time out. Don't think I've done one for 4 days. I basically fight 1 fight every couple of days just to make sure that I don't decay, but otherwise I don't play live arena anymore. I'm officially retired. Because this will be Duchess, Candrathon, Siphi, Rotus, and then probably like, I don't know, like a Pythian or something probably. Bread. Kelly bean. I've got something cooking in the oven for a bit, but I've got bread, basically. It's probably going to be like Siphi Rotus or something of that nature. Maybe there's a Baron. Siphi Magna, wasn't far off. I mean, Siphi's bannable at the moment. Duchess is as well, to be honest. I finally saw the power of Duchess and Hydra after booking her. Holy crap, no worries about the fate. Yeah, it's really good. I actually had granola for the first time in 4 years yesterday. I was so happy. Oh, cleansing. He must be really upset because he just got cleansed. Kind of want to just do that, because now he can't really do anything other than like smack my thing for a bit of damage, I guess. I can probably just like, I don't know, decide to take out Siphi and then just take them all out. Okay, maybe not. Decreased attack's good. It shocks me that my Vlad has 239 accuracy and yet somehow still manages to land debuffs on Duchess. But you can see, I don't play live arena. I've stopped. I just don't enjoy it. I'm only fighting to basically stay without decay. I'm just keeping myself there. I'm not actually fighting. But you can see these guys, they just can't climb. Like, it's too punishing. It's taking too long for people to climb. So, I don't know. What about the Great Hall? I don't really need the area bonuses. Like, my account doesn't need these. My Seer can already one-shot things without buffs. You want me to give me more crit damage? Come on now. There's got to be a balance somewhere. We do need to do some tag for CVC, though. Need to pump in some points. So I probably will go back to it in like 6 months, maybe when something changes and like it's easier to farm, but like, I'll be honest. The problem is it's not even that I don't like the game mode, it's I'm bored of basically fighting the same fight and being able to predict what's going to happen in every single fight, and there's no diversity, there's no variety, there's no like depth. It's not like I can be strategic or clever or smart. I just basically pick the things, hope I get a good polymorph or stun chance, and if I do, I win the fight. It's not even like ability, it's RNG, and I can't deal with that. How much speed is optimal on DPS? So Vlad runs at like 250, but you can get away with like as low as 160. The thing is, you need to wait for the stone skin and reaction and stuff, so there's no value in really going first anymore. As long as you can make sure that your DPS has the ability to take a turn, then you should be okay. You can go as low as 160. So. Yeah, Brisinga is exactly what I do. I had a few fights where I was like playing around with it a little bit. I drafted like Oella and things, see if I could mind game people, and I was just like, this is horrific. I can't win anything. It's probably quite fun if you've got all the champions because you can like do lots of more flexible options. But when you have so few champions that are in the meta, it's actually very boring because you basically don't have much flexibility. So, you know, that's what I said. Like, what I realized was I rebuilt. The reason why I decided to stop playing live arena was I rebuilt Uko, and at the same time I rebuilt Elva and Oella, and I had twice as much fun, if not more, using Oella in different places and Elva in different places than I had using Uko in live arena. So I'm like, well, why would I basically spend all my time and effort trying to make a game mode enjoyable that I don't enjoy? There is no point. So I stopped playing it. Vlad, I tell you what, the Void Bros are insane. I love the Void Bros. Just in outside of arena, Void Bros as a carry is probably one of the strongest carry duos in the game. Polymorph didn't. Releasing extremely OP Void legendaries that have OP passives destroyed the game, the meta, for diversity. Polymorph actually forced lots of different strategies. It only stopped forcing different strategies when they released Taras Marichka, because now there is no strategy. It's basically Sify Duchess, Taras Marichka, and off you go. So, and again, the only reason why Rotus is getting really strong and popular again is because you can ban out Ultimate Death Knight. Otherwise, Ultimate Death Knight would hard counter Rotus. So, I don't even think Harima's that powerful. Like, I know a lot of people say Harima's endgame really strong. I get it, but I've not really like lost my mind trying to kill a Harima. I can normally kill it quite comfortably. I've lost my mind trying to beat Jorgids and Rotuses and other things. Opinion on the new Void Ogren Legendary. I think he's a very strong PvE carry. I don't think he's a very good... I don't think he's that impactful in Arena. Not to say you can't use him in Arena, but he's basically a golden Vogoth in Arena. for a better word. His value comes in the ability for you to absorb lots of AoE damage onto your team, which he then can heal you up, and then he can self-heal with his maximum HP on the A2. So you basically get kind of like an Oella mixed with a Husk, mixed with a Vogoth for Hydra. It's a very strong combo for like Hydra in particular. But I think basically he's the type of champion. He's a bit like Krisk, where you put him in a team, he wins. But he's not as strong as Krisk. I think his best area is Hydra. I think potentially his other good areas will be like progression states. But he's not going to be so strong that you're going to see him in much like top tier dungeon runs. I think where he's really powerful is Hydra. That's where you're going to see him a lot. Would I go in for the new Void Lag or Acrisia? I prefer Acrisia because I think Acrisia has more universal usage than the new one. Like every single time Acrisia hits a boss, she does 10% maximum HP damage. So that's kind of hard to turn down. Plus, she's also got that insane passive. What about Clan Boss? The only thing I would say about Clan Boss is he's defensive unit, but he doesn't particularly bring anything that you need for a Clan Boss speed tune, such as he doesn't bring decreased defense, decreased attack, ally protection. You don't get any of those components. Like that's why I've seen a few people compare him to Krisk, and I actually think he's not as powerful as Krisk, because with Krisk, you get ally protection, you get increased speed on an AoE, you get AoE decreased speed, you also get the passive decreased attack and decreased defense, you get the shield, right? You get a lot more. I think he'll be a solid option as an increased defense option, but you will need to, like, you might struggle to fit him into a team and still have all the other effects you need. He's a luxury, basically, that you may not be able to afford. Yeah, Harima's a great champion, don't get me wrong. What I meant is, like, if we're putting Harima on the category of Taras, I think Taras is way stronger than Harima. What about the Infinity combo with him because of the A1 shield? Well, it doesn't really matter because the A1 shield never happen. Because you already have a shield, right? You can't have multiple shields. They won't add together. I normally use Brogni for that, and Brogni shield will be placed first, so. Do we know the new login champion is? Not a clue. No information for sure. We have no idea. Always. We noticed that he always steals the increased attack from your nuker. Does the old Uko. Every single time. It's always the nuker he takes it from. Not the Duchess or the other Uko that doesn't need it. It's the nuker. No, Al. So you can stack a artifact shield and a normal shield together. Once you get into one of them each, then any additional shield, it will always prioritize duration and strength. So because it will be a less duration and less strength, it'll never replace the bigger one. So the bigger one will stay in place. So you can grow it with Brogni's A2, but that's the only way you can grow a shield, or with Krakow's passive as well, which I've not seen any use of whatsoever. So yeah. Do we need to do anything? I need to remember to make sure I log in and get this ancient shard, because I kind of messed up and I didn't get the ancient shard in time. So I kind of messed that up, and then ask me how I did that. It'll probably be a Lego Dwarf, I'd have thought. What do we want to spend this energy on? Probably throw it in some spiders then, I guess. Have I tried Helicath in live? No, I've seen it work though, but I think it's counterable. It's very easy to counter. Like Baron will counter it hard. Anyone with any sort of like debuff, buff duration drop can get rid of it. So there's ways to counter it. Hey Ivory, yeah, not doing too bad. Thanks. How are you? Welcome. My free to play, by the way, is already back up to Gold 3 in Classic Arena in 2 days. I started in Gold 1, already back up to Gold 3. Pumping ahead. I'm starting to find harder teams now. But once we've done this energy burst, I'll show you where I'm at. But yeah, Nevin, you can also just ban him though, right? So you just ban him out if he's annoying. You're stuck on the Dwarf faction. Folger, see Kayak. Do you have Folger? I am a massive fan of Folger. I think she's a secret OP champion. And you can double her up, and she's worth an investment because she also becomes one of the best Dark Fae champions you can use in your account as well. Like, I will use Folger in next rotation to farm Dark Fae floor 120. You can't hear the music? Is the music too quiet, guys? Oh, oh, I know why. I turned down the desktop audio for the game. Is that better? I turned the desktop audio down because of the game was playing really, really loudly. You should be able to hear it now, yeah. It's been playing throughout the entire time, so probably when you were on hold, you weren't hearing anything. Sorry, guys. When I was making a cup of tea, I totally didn't know. I had to drop the audio down because the game sound was so loud. It was like ridiculously loud. There is a fail rate to this team, Aethelred. It's a very small fail rate. So this team can fail if I don't land Hex on the Queen. That's the only fail really I have. So if I don't land that Hex, it can fail. And there's no way I can make that 100%. So if that's a 3%, it's a 3%. Yeah, she's a beast. I'll show you why now. I don't really know. Folger? I always say it. Yeah. Like this champion here, where is she? She's a dwarf. This chick here. Folger. The reason why she's so good is normally the way you work with Dark Fae, you need someone that can basically AoE nuke your team, and then you want to just like keep the turn meter down on Dark Fae. That's basically the TLDR of Dark Fae. You bring someone who can AoE nuke your team, and then you have lots of turn meter basically treated like Fire Knight and kill the Dark Fae. Now the good thing about Folger is whenever she starts a round, a turn, if she has less than 2 buffs, 2 or fewer buffs, then she self-buffs increase attack and increase crit damage. And then she's got an AoE where she basically kills everyone because your team is squishy, and she'll fill her champion turn meter by 15% per enemy. So essentially, if that's 5, it's 15 times 5. If it's a heal, it's 15 times 5. So you basically get a new turn back. Then you have a 100% chance on a 4-turn cooldown to fully deplete the turn meter. So not only are you dealing with the problem of how do I kill my enemy opponents, you're also bringing in turn meter control on top. And this has no cooldown. So you don't need to bring another increased attack champion to deal damage. She's just going to keep applying the buff as long as you don't apply buffs to her. And then she has got like a destroy maximum HP on the 8-1. That's irrelevant, really. So mine is... the reason why I built it is I got a 5-star soul out of one of the stones. So I thought I'd give it a try. So mine is here. So I've just built mine in Savage Cruel, and she's built at 196 speed. She's probably in like good gear, I would say, but not like exceptional gear, right? She's in good gear. So like we've got, you know, attack with crit damage, double roll, crit rate gloves. You know, that they're pretty average, I would say. Flat stat attack, a bit of speed, double crit damage, you know, accuracy. We obviously need accuracy in here as well. Speed, crit damage, attack, percentage boots, crit damage, crit rate, standard accuracy banner, standard accuracy amulet. She's in a really good ring. So, yeah, that's what I got her at. Was she hard enough? She one-shots a wave. So the team that I run her in is... where is it? Dark Fate. This team here. So I run Lysandra, Ruella, Whisper, Allure, and Fulgur. So I basically have 1, 2 100% turn meter drops. I have a A1 that drops turn meter with Allure, and I also have an A1 turn meter steal with Ruella, and Ruella also gives me AoE increase speed, I want to say. I could be wrong. No, AoE increase crit rate, and also I get increased speed from Lissandra. And then Whisper is there to kill the boss. Whisper just annihilates the boss. So the rest of the team is built quite squishy. So I start with Lissandra at 315 speed. And then Allure is a little bit faster at 211. And then Fulgur comes in and basically one-shots the enemy team quickly. Basically one-shots the team first. I think Allure, I think the way that it works actually, I think, if memory serves me correct, the way that I coded it was, she hasn't even got masteries, look at that. Whirlwind of Death. She kills 3 enemies on the way to the wave. So she basically makes up the difference of speed so that she always goes second. So we basically run the team that when we get to wave 3, Lissandra will A3 to make sure that my team always goes first. Fulgur gets the buff because she only has 1 buff at the time because she's only got the speed buff. So she self-buffs, and then with increased attack, one-shots the enemy wave. Then she gets enough turn meter back that she basically does this straight away and fully depletes the boss's turn meter. And once we're in that rotation, we have decreased speed coming out of Ruella, plus Ruella's going to steal 15% turn meter, so it's a net 30% gain. We have Allure dropping turn meter at 100% here, 75% each time, and we also have a full depletion here as well. That's how the team works. Hey YST, big fan. Will the new speed set upset the arena meta at all? No. It'll get used, but it's not a priority set. It's not displacing Stone Skin. Nukers will not like drop their cruel set for it. Like it's a defensive stat, and resist is low value generally in arena, like comparatively. So you might find people off-piece it, but to be honest, they'd rather turn Stone Skin, right? So the nice thing about Fulgur is if you're struggling with the boss in Faction Wars, it's one of those 100% ignore defense bosses, right? In the Dwarven faction. Well, the biggest way you can get away with that is you stop it taking a turn. You don't have to deal with the half depletion. So she basically removes 100% of the boss's turn. So it means you probably save yourself an attack. So it's really strong. Like she hits, like she's not like the hardest AoE hitting champion in the game. But like considering my champ doesn't have masteries, like if I take her into like say floor 27 for example, right? She doesn't have masteries right now. No aura. This is normal, so it's not exactly like the hardest wave in the world. But see, I actually want to start that again. Let me try this again. I hate it when it starts in order. So instantly we get the buff because the passive has happened, and then boom, 100,000 on the A2. On the A3 here, and you see she gets the turn meter back. So like for example, if I take her into a harder floor, take her into something, I might just need to bring a turn meter boost here just because. Val is good for clan boss. I don't think for live though. Affinity issues. Can't kill a Rotus. So again, see, this is how it works. Because I've only got 1 buff, I get the things, and then I can come in here. You see how much turn meter boost I got back? She's basically got a whole turn back. She's only at 196 speed. And then we can come in, we can like take a steal there. So she's really good. And the other thing you probably aren't noticing here is I've put Hero Soul on her. Right? Increases the damage inflicted to bosses and their minions according to the number of living enemies. It's a little bit misleading. Because what this actually is coded at is if I attack a boss, I increase the damage that I deal for each living enemy on the enemy team. They don't need to be boss minions. It doesn't need to be a spiderling. The clones that will spawn will actually give you damage boost. So when I'm fighting the Dark Fae, when I'm trying to one-shot my wave, I'm actually getting 6 times 1.5 bonus. So I'm actually getting 9% more damage. Because the clones all count as a minion, even though they're technically not a minion in that sense. It's the way it's been coded. It's because there's so few bosses in the game that actually have allies. They just coded it as if I attack a boss, then deal damage equal to X value of all living enemies. So Hero Soul, very good for her. Gives me another 9% boost. I use Arcantum for Hex and Spider because 3 instances 0 point high is to land a single instant. 100% Hex debuff has a 90% chance to land in Hex. 3 instances it has of 80% chance. Yes, Gort, but also Ruel is a bit of a different one as well because of his passive. So if I drop Ruel, I have to find 10% more damage. And also he's dropping the speed of the boss by 5%, so I have to adjust my speed tune again. So you can't just like lift and dump Ruel out for another Hex champion, believe it or not. That 10% is an actual important value. Well, no, other people can do it. He can exist with another provoke. The issue is, I mean, I could swap it around, right? But the other issue you have is if I don't have him placing the Hex on the first rotation, then he doesn't fill his turn meter enough so that he doesn't get slept. So the way that it works in my team is essentially Ruel goes just before the Queen goes, fills his turn meter by 50%, so he gets over the boundary required to avoid the sleep, which means he gets another turn on the way back round. Now, it doesn't really particularly matter if he gets slept, I suppose, because we don't need to do him. But if he needed to do the Hex on the follow-up, then obviously that's a bit of a problem. So by having him use this A3, he gets the turn meter back last, so nobody ever gets slept. And then Akimtum is my secondary Hexer afterwards. It can happen. I mean, I could technically avoid the 3% by basically making Akimtum faster and forcing Akimtum into a situation where he will attack a Spiderling to extend to try and spread the debuffs. But I generally think, like, for the odd fail here or there, I'm quite happy with it. It's the only thing that can fail, basically. Because I've got enough additional poisons. Like you see, I missed one of the Spiderlings. It doesn't really matter because I've got enough backup poisons that I can absorb one Spiderling, not taking a Hex debuff from Ruel. So you can see here, look, I'm going to dump so many poisons out that it doesn't really matter if one or two of the Spiderlings 3%. It's only if the Queen 3% that matters with my team. Does that work for Bomber Bombs 2 or like a Geostrat? I don't know if Bomber Bombs would count towards it. It could count towards it, Pocket, because if a Bomber Bomb is considered an enemy, then yes, Hero Soul should increase the damage you deal. So, how making it faster helps, just so I can run it quicker. If I have to reorganize the speed tune, it'll cost me another 10 seconds, probably. I don't want to spend 10 seconds. Like, 10 seconds is basically a third of the total time. So that means I'm running 33% slower than I should be. And when you do 100 runs, that means I could potentially have done another 10 runs in that 100 runs kind of thing, right? So when I'm looking at speed tunes, like 20 seconds is a massive saving of time in terms of the overall how many can you run in a period of time. So anything good here? So the build for this, I've done a video on it. It's on the channel. So if anyone wants to see the full details, like Ruz, if you want to know exactly how it works, there is a video on the channel. But the way that it works is we've got Ruel at 232 speed, Dark Hill at 237, and Taurus at 232. Now, these two are at the same speed. The only difference is I think Taurus has a higher base speed, so he gets a little bit more speed from the Akimtum aura. So we're using the aura here to boost it up. So we basically come in and we go, Dark Kill opens with A3. We've got a champion here that can place 3 poisons, because the way that this works is when an enemy under Hex takes poison damage, it deals the damage of 1 poison equal to all enemies under Hex. That happens to translate exactly, percentage-wise, to the HP of each Spiderling. So 1 poison explosion on the Queen equals the same amount of HP you need to kill all other Spiderlings. So I'm using Dark Hail because it means we've got 3 5% poisons to land on the Queen. That's 1 fail rate. If we don't land a poison on the Queen, it doesn't work. So we're trying to mitigate that. Next up, we've got Ruel. So Taurus. Taurus will take a turn, and he's going to open with Weaken, because Weaken actually increases the amount of damage the Spiderlings deal to the Queen. So when you have a Weaken debuff on the Queen, she will take 25% more damage from the Spiderlings dying. So we use Weaken on the boss, and Taurus happens to have the fastest Weaken animation, specifically in my account. Theodore might be better now, but Taurus is just great because he's really quick animation. Then we have Ruel. Ruel is basically the Hex champion. That's the second fail rate, right? We need the Hex on the Queen with the poison on a Queen. He also places a perfect veil himself. Doesn't really matter. The key thing here is he's filling his own turn meter by 50%, which means that as he goes before the Queen can't drop his turn meter to nothing and put him to sleep. And it means that we can put him third in the queue. He also has this passive here where he decreases the speed of enemies under Hex. That works on the Queen. He also increases the damage that anyone under Hex takes by 10%, which means the Queen takes 10% more damage. It's basically like a mini Weaken. And we don't really care about the values of the heals. Although the value of the heal will help as well, because if she eats a Spiderling, then we're reducing the value of that heal by 30%. So it helps mitigate some of the 3% failures, because this is not guaranteed. So he could 3% on a Spiderling. Obviously, we need Hex on all the Spiderlings so that the poison damage is dealt to all the Hexed Spiderlings. If there's no Hex on the Spiderling, then when this passive activates, it doesn't deal damage to those Spiderlings. So we go Dark Hail into Taurus A2, into Ruel A3. Boss takes a turn, deals about 50 to 55% of the boss's HP in 1 round rotation. Then we're going to go back through, and we're going to go and we're going to have Dark Hail do an A1, because what we need to do on the second rotation is we need Spiderlings to spawn. We need all of the Spiderlings up, because our second round of killing means we need to reapply Hex, which is where Akimtom's going to come in. But Akimtom needs 2 people to go before him so that the Spiderlings will respawn. The first time you come into the battle, you need 1 turn. The second time the Spiderlings get killed, you need 2 turns. So Dark Hail comes in with the A1. We'll activate any poisons that are on the boss as well to try and make sure that we can kill it. That's the value here. If for whatever reason we've massively 3%, then often this activation with poison damage on the Queen is enough to get us over the line. Then we have Taurus come in with a Toxic Nova. So he comes out and reapplies all the poisons. Then we have Ruel come in with an A1, just because of the way the speed tune works. Then Akimtom will come in and reapply Hex to all of the Spiderlings, and the Queen if needs be. And then we just use Cold Heart to take out 10% of the boss's HP. We take an extra 10% out for the Cold Heart. So I'll show you how it works in detail. I'll slow it down. Yeah, Hex animation for Akimtom is slow. So you can see here we come in and we go... We're going to A3, sets out the poison, part 1 done. Then we're going to A2, you can see a really fast animation, and then we're going to Hex, right? Then the Queen's going to take a turn. You see it takes it down to 50%. Because he went before everyone else, you can see Taurus just about didn't get slept. He gets a turn back because he filled his turn meter. So then we just A1, because it's a fast animation. But there's 2 more Spiderlings spawn. We A1 here, because we need 2 more Spiderlings to spawn. Then Akimtom gets a turn. So he's now going to A3, to reapply Hex to all targets. It's a pretty safe reapplication of Hex. And then Taurus is going to put out the poisons again to make sure if Dark Hail actually activated any poisons, we actually have poisons still on the Queen. And Cold Heart just throws an extra 10%, and that's what kills it. So the average time of this run is about 20 to 25 seconds. I've seen it take sometimes 30 seconds if different animations, like I've got Kale, like you see there, we've missed 1 poison, but we still have 1 on there. So it still works. You only need 1 poison. Doesn't matter how many's on here. Sometimes it takes 30 seconds because Dark Hail is in counterattack. So if he takes a lot of damage, sometimes he'll counterattack and activate some poisons. But generally, it's a pretty consistent speed. 25 seconds. So yeah, the only fail rate is really if the Ruel doesn't hex the queen. It's the only fail rate. Could you run this with a second Taurus instead of Dark Hail? Yeah. Should be able to. You basically want someone who can place a lot of poisons. So you have more than one fail rate, right? I tried Leberga, who's a Doom Tower epic, because she's got fast animations, but 2 poisons were a bit risky if she 3%ed a lot. So 3 is definitely where I'd go. Theodore could work, I think. I think I built this before I actually had Theodore up and running. Yeah, you can use that as well, Gort. Absolutely. What are your thoughts on Ruel for a free-to-play challenge account worth building at some point? He hits really hard, Grendel. If you don't have a very good wave clear, then he can be an excellent wave clear. If you can enable him. He does give you AoE increase accuracy as well, so... Is he activated just for more speed? I've got Dark Hail mainly because I had him built, and also because he's a fast animation, right? His poison application is pretty quick. Like, this is a pretty quick animation to place poisons. And you also get 3. There's not that many. Like, Taurus takes a while to place his poisons. And I like the security that when he A1s, don't underestimate the value of 1-5% poison on the boss. It's a decent amount. Look, it's like 369,000 damage there. It's a reasonable amount of damage. So don't underestimate the value of activating a few poisons. So that's why I've used him. But you could use Taurus. You can use any poisoner in that spot. You could use Venomage, right? You basically need the role is someone who places lots of poisons in one go because you want some security. Someone who can place Weaken. Someone who can place AoE Hex. Someone who can do a 10% max H nuke, and then Akimtum. Akimtum's the only champion that has to be Akimtum, right? Because of his passive. It's the only one that does that. But the other roles can be interchangeable for various different time efficiencies. This is like probably the fastest animations you can get for the role, right? Taurus probably... Theodore can probably replace Dark Hail probably pretty quick. I tried to use Glazea over Taurus. That does work, but I felt like you needed backup poisons to secure the run. Cold Heart could be a Royal Guard if you wanted to, as long as you don't do too much damage. It could be a Septimus. It could be probably an Armiga. It could be anyone. It could be a Chrysia. It could be anyone with a max HP nuke. You just need like a little bit extra damage just to make sure the queen dies. Ruel could be Mithrala. Ruel could be a second Akimtum. Ruel could be another Hex champion. Anyone who basically plays 100% Hex. The only thing I would say with Ruel is you just need to lift the speeds a little bit because obviously the boss is not getting a 5% speed debuff. And also, you might need to find 10% more damage, so there's a larger range of fail, right? This is an example here where I've got a lot more HP to kill, so you see the value now of the poisons that are going to come in. I don't think this is going to one-shot her, or just about did. But you can see I've got leverage for a little bit of fail rates. Arogrim's great as well because he's quite fast animation. You just want to like, what you want to avoid is someone who's like super slow animations. You're using Taurus, Theodore, Ciciate, Royal Guard, Mordecai. Yeah, so there is a team that basically 100% nukes on with basically utilizing the HP burn because effectively one AoE HP burn activation is about 20% damage to the queen because it's 30% burn and then she heals 10%. So having, you can build a team that's basically burn, one shot. The Spiderlings do 30%, the burns do like 20%, and it's enough damage. You just have to be very careful with the damage output to make sure you don't kill any Spiderlings in consistency. But as long as they're consistently dying at the right time, you should be okay. So, yeah, 5 Acrizes will do it pretty quickly. But yeah, this team here, like the gearing is basically, it's actually quite hard because you need to get specific speeds, right? The Cold Heart has to be slower than the Akimtum, which has to be, and Dark Hail has to be faster than the Ruel and the Taurus, and Taurus has to be slightly faster than the Ruel. You don't want to go like, this Cold Heart is going at 118 speed. She can't go fast because I don't really want her to take a turn before because it slows the rundown. This is me really min-maxing efficiency, because the only dungeon that really matters for spider for hard dungeons in terms of efficiency is spider, because it's where you will farm your clan versus clan points. That's why right now I'm running spider with my energy, because it's clan versus clan points. You know, I'm getting basically 400 points every 25 seconds. The difference is, if I was running a 1 minute team, I would be getting 400 per minute. I can run this and get 800 points per minute. That's a big difference in CVC points. If I need to push, this is the dungeon you want to efficiency, like get really, really efficient. That's why I've found a team with the fastest animations, with the fastest speed that I can run. There's probably a team that I could run that's 10% at like 10 seconds. And then if you think how crazy that is right now, I'm running a team that's probably on average 800 points a minute. If you're running a 10-second team, well, you can probably run something like 5 a minute. So you're actually getting 2,000 points a minute. That's the value of 10-second savings. It makes a huge difference. Does Atkinson work at what level 1 6-star? He needs to stay alive, Aleph. That's why I've got someone in a shield set. He'll have to take a hit. So you need to make sure that everyone stays alive. But apart from that, he doesn't need anything special. Mine's in War Master. This is actually my built Akimtum. I need to like move over my other Akimtum into this position and reuse this guy. Is there a calculator for these dungeons like Clan Boss? No, but me and Deadwood have talked about working on building it. So it's a plan. We haven't got around to it yet, but we will definitely be looking to build something. So yeah, I mean, this is the situation where time matters. In other dungeons, it's not so bad. Like if you take an extra 10 seconds, it's fine. But because you farm Spider hard for CVC, it's a big deal. Well, you'd say that, Jay. Like, I would say this team is pretty free-to-play friendly, in the sense that technically, all you need is you need one Void Epic, which you can't swap. Otherwise, you could use Mithrala. You can use Dark Kale, both free champions. Cold Heart's are rare. And then Taurus can literally be anyone with a weaken, right? You can use Akoth or whatever the champion is from Doom Tower that is a weaken, right? You could use Rian the Conjurer if you wanted to. Like, this is a pretty free-to-play friendly team. So if you're not hitting under a minute Spider 10 hard, like, this is why I'm saying area bonuses as well are not that crazy, because like I don't need ignore defense here. I don't need extra speed. I don't need crit damage. I don't need accuracy. I've already hit all the numbers. The accuracy would help, but I don't need it. I'll show you the builds now. Any plans for another Razorvarg team with Demitha? I need to actually check in with, see what other options we've got. We were looking at a double Seeker tune. I don't know where we got with that one. It's been a busy week. So... But you can see it's pretty consistent. We haven't had a fail yet. And it's consistent timings, which is nice as well, right? You're not getting inconsistencies. Every so often it takes an extra 5 seconds. But I'm consistently hitting 25-second runs, so you can get a good... It helps you get a good estimate of how many clan versus clan points you can get. Hey Sav, how does Mythfu work both Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare? It works on Brutal Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare, and as long as you get a appropriate nuker to fill that extra spot to cover the stun targeting, I'm pretty sure it's full affinity friendly as well. I'd say Mythfu is one of the best clan boss teams out there. The lowest champ but the highest gear requirement for fast 10 spiders to Armiger, Vildrax, Renegade, Chinura. Yeah, probably, because Chinura resets a skill, right? Yes, that's the fail, Chris. The only fail is if I don't get a Hex on the Queen, because it breaks the speed tune, and it also doesn't do enough damage. Because obviously the Queen won't like, she doesn't poison anyone. It's the only fail, right? Is it better to lose a CVC? Is it true that you get an easy CVC? So, yeah, typically, like, I'll show you our clan versus clan right now. Like, last time we hit 15 million. We generally don't compete on these non-personal rewards. So if we can, like, sneak a win, we will. But we often tell people, save your resources unless you need to use them. Like, it doesn't really work for me because I got to do content. So I can't really wait a month to book champions. That's just not possible. So I can't really hoard as much as other people. But we'll often tell people hoard it away. So, like, for example, let's see. The team build. I don't really want to use gems right now. Go away. So, the team there that I just used was... We can see Ruel. He is just at 232 speed and enough accuracy. Now, the good thing about Ruel is he places increased accuracy first. So you actually can get away with a lot less accuracy to get the bots. That's why he's only at 276 and still landing it, because he gets the increased accuracy, boosts him up. And he's not in any damage build. I don't really want him dealing that much damage. I just need him to apply Hex. Taurus is at 232. He's in the shield set. I'm trying to basically use Taurus to be a bit of a barrier. So again, not max out gear. He's just there as a bit of a meat shield to try and help mitigate the one bit of damage we take and enough accuracy to land the debuffs. Dark Hail. He's in some weird gear. I don't know if he's in Relentless. He was like someone I was building towards Finite Hard. So he's now not doing that. But you can see, again, not in anything special. Just enough to take a hit. Fastest at 237 and 352 speed. Then we've got Akimtum. I actually can't put a banner on Akimtum because he's too fast. So he's at 119 speed, 340 accuracy to land the Hex. And then again, I just need him to stay alive. So he's built tanky. Lots of HP, lots of defense. I just need him to stay alive. So he's in broken gear sets. And finally, we have got Cold Heart. 193% crit damage. That's all you need to hit the cap. 193% crit damage at 118 speed. That's it. So you can see what I mean by this team is free to play. You know, you don't need crazy gear. You don't need crazy champs. A lot of champs are interchangeable. Kale can be a Venom Mage. It can be any old poisoner with 3. It can be a corpse collector. It can be anyone who does multiple poisons. It can be another Taurus. Taurus can be anyone who does weaken. It could be Rian the Conjurer. Ruel can be a Mithrala if you want. You just need to find a little bit more damage and make sure you have a bit of leniency there. So... Are you able to check my HHA optimizer link today? Yeah, we can actually, and that's a good point. I'll see if I can find it. So yeah, you can see, like, we're at 5.3 million. We're literally just about to queue over here to get the extra bonus rewards. Most of us are just chilling at 100,000. We basically told everyone in the clan to hit 185,000. That's your goal. We aim to just hit for them. We'll just tank it, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to rank up here. Like 22 million, we don't really care about that. What we're trying to do essentially is find a better matchup for the personal rewards, because it always alternates, right? So if we can sneak a win, we'll sneak a win, but we're not necessarily we're not driving points towards it like we normally would. If this was a personal, we'd be at 15 million by the end. We'd probably be right now at around about 10 million, almost double. Give me a second, guys. I just need to sort something out. That's really unhelpful when Discord changes things over. Sorry guys, I just need to do something quickly that I forgot to do. Okay. Right, where is that link you sent me, Green Virus? Let me find your link. Did you DM it to me or did you put it in the Discord? I can't remember. I get so many DMs, you wouldn't even believe how many I get on a daily basis. Can you send it to me again? It's in my DMs. What's your DM username? Is it green? I got it. I got it. I got it. Right, remind me what you wanted to look at again. What you wanted to cover. Where's my link on? Right, sorry. Let me just catch up on the messages here quickly. Is Spider... I found losing a CVT to your hard client doesn't always... You're correct, Anderbit. It doesn't always work, but we'd rather save our resources and burn them on a personal than burn them on a non-personal. You just get so much more value out of a personal these days, so... I'm building a myth with Thane, but I don't know exactly how it would work on Brutal Nightmare. It works exactly the same way, Taha. You run exactly the same setup, exactly the same speeds, exactly the same team. It just works. No differences. Is Spider 25 more efficient than 20 if you have similar times? No. So if you want silver, Nevin, Spider 20 is better. If you want dungeon diver points, Spider 20 is better. If you want clan versus clan, you'd run Spider 10 hard. You shouldn't really ever run Spider 25 anymore, because if you were running Spider 25, you probably can run Spider 10 hard. You just need to build it. Are you able to check me? Yes, Orogrim. Yeah, Orogrim's a good option. Are there any clan boss teams that can do Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare? Loads. Loads of teams. Bat Eater, Myth Watcher, Mythvu, Myth Air. You've got the Easy Double Man Eater. You've got the Budget Man Eater. Loads of them. What can I change my current team is Akimta, Mithrala, Lydia to Hanarak and Seeker. Yeah, I don't think Seeker's doing anything there. I'll be honest. For Spider. I think you need a red DPS to control the stun. Yeah, I think you just need a force. You're correct. Yeah, Daniel. Oh, the triple back-to-back PR nearly lost me. Discord update. Yeah, Discord update. They basically removed the numbers from people's usernames. So if they have a username that's only 3 characters, trying to find the user is very difficult. Which is awkward. So... right, so a more optimized Fire Knight, normal or hard, doesn't matter. So you're looking for advice on Fire Knight, yeah? Awesome there, Seth. Glad I helped. How many D picks in those? Not many. Honestly, half the time it's things like sometimes I'll get people go, oh, I know you're busy, but can you help me rebuild my team? And I'm like, you've kind of acknowledged that maybe I don't have time, or it's not like it's someone that's in the community. It's just someone I have no idea who they are. They've just randomly dropped me a message going, can you help me build this when you've got 5 minutes? I'm like, I don't really have 5 minutes. You know, I can give you some advice and guidance, but I'm not going to go and jump into your account and do it for you for nothing. That's just not really sensible. So yeah. Yeah, like Spider's one of those rooms where, to be honest, the hard mode dungeon didn't really change much. You just had to tweak it a little bit. If anything, they made it easier by making the Spiderlings do so much damage. What was WoW's old platform from Discord? TeamSpeak. Yeah, TeamSpeak was back. Back in the day. So. Right, so. Let's have a look. Let's change it up. Let's make sure it fits in the screen. Zoom it in a bit. So we are helping Green Virus wants to find a better Fire Knight team. So let's have a look what you're running right now. Fire Knight, you are running Tiro, Alor, Cold Heart, Walking Tomb Drang, and Krisk. How fast are you doing Finite right now, Green? I'm guessing you're doing 25 hard, right? 25 normal. Ventrilo. God, that's the old days. Jeez. That's a bit of a throwback. How does CVC matchmaking work? So basically, the way that CVC matchmaking works is the next fight, if Sinrath finished number 1 and Dreadnoughts finished number 2, Sinrath fights Dreadnoughts, Imperium fights Legion Delicts, Huajia fights Aftershock Primes, Gods and Legends fights Asanes, You Angels fights these. Unless someone like guts the clan and there's no members anymore, you fight basically in order. It's nothing set, there's nothing scientific about it, you just fight who's in next in the leaderboard. That's why when it's a personal, often we'll try and fight for positioning to try and match up against someone we know based on their record and different things. We don't want to fight people as hard. 25 normal is about 2 to 230. Okay, so we can definitely improve that. I would say, to be honest, your goal first is to get us about a minute farm on Finite 25. I would not be sitting here saying aim for Finite hard. I think Finite hard is just something that's not worth considering. Some of the new champs might help, but you know, I would definitely not do it. Right, so we've got a Seer. Do you have a Ghost Spawn? No, no Ghost Spawn. Okay, so we could do a Seer Lydia. Royal Guard. Yeah, Seer Lydia, Royal Guard. Allure, obviously. Yes. There's your answer. You're not using Allure. Yeah, you are, but only level 50. Like, upgrading Allure to level 60 is worth it for War Master. Right, War Master's here. Very big. Chris shouldn't be in this team. Neither should Walking Tomb Drang. Theodore's fine. You probably want to swap out Walking Tomb Drang and Krisk and just replace them with Seer and a reset. Maybe. So like, for example, if I was to just show you my... am I free to play here? So if I just show you what I can get on my main account. Okay, so you've got Lydia. I'm saying you probably want a Law. And base it around a team that doesn't have Ghost Spawns. If I exclude Ghost Spawn because you don't have Ghost Spawn. And let's get it to 100% success rate. With like at least 10 battles. I'll show you some things here, right? This is the type of team I'm thinking you could run. You could, if you wanted to force Theodore, you could. But it would not be super fast, I think. There's an interesting one. If you've got Elenarals. Have you got Elenarals? No, we don't have an Elenaral, so get rid of that. Tumacia? Nope. Okay, it's fine. So this team here is an interesting option if you wanted to force a Theodore. But actually, you're better off not forcing a Theodore because you can run this team, right? You probably got the Cold Heart. Got your Cold Hearts. You got a Renegade, probably. You know, you might even have a Kaimar. No, you don't. Okay, so Renegade. So this team here you could run. These types of teams. There's more variations. Obviously, you might not hit the 1 minute 20. You could. This team is a popular team as well. The Royal Guard option. If you want to run Royal Guard Cold Heart. But I don't think this will be super crazy build. You know, it's a pretty strong Seer. So you might struggle to do that Seer. But this will have more variations that are good for you. That's more achievable. Like that's 320. That's 304% there. You wouldn't need to use the Bellinor though. Let's find the one with Lydia. Whisper. Yeah, so normally you run the Renegade in a shield set, Green Virus. You'd run Renegade with a shield. Gorlos Helmor. Crazy when you start looking a little bit that you can find a 1 minute 30 team with these epics. Helmet used to be an old school carrier. I don't know if he's still relevant now, but like, isn't that crazy? That is a big seer though. That's a big seer. You are noticing that a lot of people are using big seers. The seer helps speed it up. But I was thinking of this type of team. This type of team I think is what you would run. There you go. Look, this is more appropriate for you. This would be what I would select for you to run, because I know Sophia back in the day kind of did a lot of math on this to try and perfect it and refine it. It's got protection against 3%ing. So the idea is you basically have a shield set renegade with a seer and a Lydia. So the Lydia buffs plus the shield set is enough for you to one-shot the wave. And then you got Cold Heart and Royal Guard doing damage to the boss. I'm surprised that this actually doesn't need an lore to begin with. But I suppose you've basically got Royal Guard here and Cold Heart doing termite controls. You know, so you've basically got them using Heartseeker only on round 3. He opens with Hamstring, so you get the decreased speed out and also the drop turn. So you've got accuracy on both these and these. I suppose with the Renegade resetting as well, it helps. But that's like a 291% crit damage in Flawless. Your Seer right now, and that's in crit damage Savage. Your Seer right now is same Ascent Awakening. You need to get your Seer in Savage to start with. This needs a complete rebuild. Because if she's not in Savage, she loses a hell of a lot of value. Okay? So, you don't really... If you notice, not many people run big amounts of accuracy on Seer. Like, 200 is enough. So, when I'm looking at here, I'd probably be going, okay, first things first. Do you have crit damage gloves with crit rate in Savage? Yes, you have one. So this set here potentially goes over to your Seer. The other way you can do it is you can run her in lethal, but you don't have any gloves. Or cruel. Have you got any cruel gloves? Yeah, so like this potentially, like these two here. So you put one of those on her. Then you're going to want to go give me crit damage rolls. I want to organize by crit damage. And I want the sets to be cruel, lethal, or savage. So you'd instantly go, okay, 22%. I'll have that piece. Thank you very much. Or you want, ideally you want rank 6. So let's see. So you got 20%, 19%. Great. 17%. Pretty good. This one's a great piece. This shield. Ideally, you'd want crit damage, crit rate. We're being greedy. So you could go with the weapon, would be an option. So what you kind of do, you'd need to run the optimizer, right? But you would basically go, like if I show you how I optimize my Seer, I basically do this. Minimum speed for damage mode. Yeah. And then you will come in here and you can select, when you select skill in a minute, you can basically say what you want to include. And then in the battle tab, let me just zoom it out a second. When you select Seer's A3, in the battle tab, you see there's a buffs multiplier, green virus. You can actually designate how many buffs you're going to have, and it will calculate damage around that. So you can kind of look at that team and go, okay, well, I'll have 5 shield buffs. I'll have, by the looks of it, they had a few of them with blood shield. So that's the other thing we're looking at here. We'd be looking at going, okay, what kind of blood shield options do you have in the right factions? So you kind of need one for high elves. Do you have any high elves options? Oops, that's Banlords. No. Bit of a problem. Okay, well, what about dark elves? Yes. So this attack ring would probably go on Lydia or Coldheart. Great. What about Renegade? Is Night Rev? Okay, no. So you haven't got many blood shield. But you'd basically put your buffs multiplier in here when you calculate how many buffs you're going to have in a round. You can configure the target value. So you can see I've got a target defense, and here you can just pick that off. If you're doing finite hard, it's like 4336 defense and like 330,000 HP, I think is the... No, not 433 defense. It's like 11,000. It's like 11,000 or 13,000 defense is the Nethril with 330,000 HP. You can obviously say I'm going to have decreased defense and weaken, and it will calculate for you the best damage build. You don't really need to put Savage Lethal. It will tell you that it wants Savage Lethal because it'll try and ignore defense. Okay? So the first thing I would definitely do on your account is fix your Seer. Because this, like in strength of value, this compared to this is not even because of my 6-star awakening. Yeah, like I will do so much more damage because I'm in Savage and Cruel. I'm in Lethal Cruel, right? I'm going to ignore 30% of the target's defense before I even attack. So to get her out of Perception, get her in the Savage Cruel, or Savage at least. In terms of masteries, I think it's fine to go Flawless if you haven't got the gear. But as soon as you start hitting 300% crit damage with Flawless, you can start having the conversation of going towards War Master. And the reason why I say that is when you start getting to the boss, War Master really helps speed up the boss. Like my Seer does about 110,000 damage to Fire Knight with a War Master proc because of her ignore defense capabilities from the blessing. It's a lot higher than what it would be, but you would be hitting something like 70k. That 70k will save you 10 seconds. So having War Master once you start hitting 300% crit damage is worth it. But in the meantime, you need to make sure you get enough damage to be able to kill it. If you are premium, you can kind of use the skills tab to see if you're going to have enough damage to kill it. So like, for example, I know if I just get the stats for the stages, tool. Here, for example, if I go to dungeons, finite castle, finite 25 normal. The hardest mob is the Nethrils normally, and it's on wave 2 normally. It's a problem. So if we just do wave 1, which is the hardest problem, I'd go 10, 3, 5, 9 is the defense. It has 330,150 HP. I'm attacking a champion with level 350. I'll have ignore defense and I'll have weaken out because of Lydia. So you can see over the side here, I can calculate based on the number of buffs, how much damage am I going to do? You'll see the numbers changing when I increase it. So I know in order for me to do enough damage, I need 8 buffs with my current build to be able to do it. Now you're going to need a lot more because you don't have the ignore defense, right? The reason why this level is important is you can see if I was to change this to 450, it'll do a lot more damage because it's calculating the ignore defense for every 10 levels. I ignore 1% defense. So for a level 350, I'm ignoring 35% defense. So that's why my number is changing here. So my Seer is essentially going to be able to ignore more. Now yours at rank 2 is going to ignore 1 defense for every 50 levels. So effectively the level you're going to have is 350 divided by 50 is what? That's like 7% ignore defense. So for me, that's the kind of number would be more like. This is why Crushing Rend at 6 stars for Seer is insane, right? My Seer, if it was at rank 1, would be hitting a level 70 target essentially, right? So that's kind of like how it translates. The target is level 350, but because you're only ignoring 1% for every 50 levels, you're essentially getting 7% ignore defense. So I think that's the way it works. I need to double check. Math is hurting my head. So if I'm doing 1% for every 10 levels, yes. I can basically reverse calculate it by going, well, my champion here is calculating a 1 every 10 levels, but you're actually doing 1 every 50. So if the mob is 350, the effective level for me is 70. So that would be the kind of damage range that I would be hitting with 8 buffs at rank 1. So you can see the difference, right? I have to increase more buffs at that point because I haven't got enough to kill the target HP. I'd need probably 15 buffs, but because I'm 6 out of 6, I only need 8. It's a bit gross, I'm not gonna lie. Crushing Rend is OP. Yeah, the skills tab comes with premium. It's a premium perk. Yeah, Helm Smasher is not the way to go. You go... your options for it are War Master, if you can afford to lose the crit damage, or Flawless Execution. Flawless Execution is way better. If you Flawless Execution is if you can't support the crit damage. So yeah. Right, let me just catch up on some messages here. I was just explaining all that. Right, a random question I had in mind. Does the HH optimizer subscription work for multiple accounts? We are adding multi-account support, but you can use the same account with multiple accounts at the moment. You just upload it, it will replace your champions, and you upload your new account. But we are actually working on trying to make multi-account support a thing as well, Ibrahim. But you can just upload it at the moment. You don't need two separate You don't need two separate memberships. You don't need that. My Seer only has 285% crit damage in my comp, Archmage. Yeah, so if you haven't got the crit damage, you need more buffs. So, is membership based on UMI code? What's an UMI code? Oh, your UM code? No. We actually use your Hellhades account. We do register in the back end your UM code for like achievements and things, so we can register which account you're uploading data on. But we use your Hellhades account for most stuff in Optimizer. But yeah, you definitely need it in Savage. As Robo Daddy is saying there, you definitely want Savage, you know. Yeah, so if you want her to strip buffs, as Dutch is saying, you need accuracy. But generally speaking, my Seer can just blow through them. But what I'm saying is accuracy is secondary. It's not essential, especially for speed clearing dungeons. You're never going to have buffs you need to take off the enemy in this team. So yeah. But what's about a new login dwarf? It looks like a new login dwarf, Takaho. Yeah, it'll be like a 7-day login champ, I guess. Death Crushing. Safi did this post like 6 to 8. Yeah. For general speed tuning of this comp, would I just copy the suggested team, or is there formula to follow I'm not aware of? Normally, what I would say is you can tell the order in which things need to happen, right? If I can find that team now. What was it? We were running... Is this one right? So you don't need to follow the exact builds, but you need to understand what's happening, okay? What soul would I use for Mr. Adidaithi? Phantom Touch, or if I didn't have it on my team, Cruelty, but probably Phantom Touch. Yeah, so Sniper Goat, we haven't worked out the UI yet, but the idea is you'll be able to like kind of select which account you want to look at. So, but yeah, so what you need to understand, Green Virus, is how the rotations are happening, which is what this will help you understand down here, right? So the speed setups here, you've got Renegade going first. But if you notice on round 1, it's opening with the A2. So Renegade goes first, then Lydia's going to follow up with her A2 by default, right? For round 1, we want to open default by Siren's Wail, A2. So that tells you straight away, my Renegade can be faster, probably by a little bit, but always has to be faster than Lydia, and Lydia can't be faster than Renegade. Step 1. Step 2 is you look at it and go, okay, who's next? Well, Cold Heart is next at 235. Cold Heart is going to open with with basically, I would imagine, a 2 on round 1. It's a bit awkward to read, but round 2 on round 1. And then Renegade and Royal Guard here is going to open with Takedown. So Royal Guard and Cold Heart and Lydia are softening up the first wave. And the reason why that's important is because of kill streak. Okay? Once you've one-shot the first wave with Seer's kill streak, you gain 12% bonus damage. It makes killing the second wave a lot easier because now you're going to deal 12% more damage on the next Karma Burn. This is very important. The hardest part is killing the first wave, not the second wave. Once you kill the first wave, the second wave is much easier. Then Seer comes in with the nuke with A3. Okay, so she's going to open with A3 here. Then what happens, you're going to kill the wave in one shot, hopefully. It needs to one-shot the wave. Then you go on to wave 2, and then you've got, because Renegade is the fastest champion, she is going to one-shot. She's going to use her sacrificial ritual to reset everyone, pretty much. Because everyone's got low cooldowns, I think. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. She's going to reset Karma Burn. No. She won't reset Karma Burn. She'll get Karma Burn down to 1 turn cooldown. So the next rotation, you're going to have Seer open with A2. You see there, starter at A2. And then she's going to A3. So in terms of Seer, she goes A3 on wave 1, A2, then A3 on wave 2. Then on wave 3, she just basically goes A3, A1, A3, A1 whenever she's got it available. Lydia should be off cooldown every single time because it's a 3-turn cooldown. And the others don't really matter apart from Takedown, which looks like it goes first on A2 as well. So again, just soften them up. Now, the important thing here is the reason why Renegade is going first is because she's using Sacrificial Ritual quickly on the round 3 to make sure that these two at either side also have the ability to get turns in. Now, the only other thing you need to be mindful of is when Seer kills the first wave, she's going to gain from Whirlwind of Death here 18 speed. So she's actually going to be running at 206 plus 18, which is 224. That is why Royal Guard is at 225. Royal Guard needs to be plus 1 speed minimum of the Seer speed plus 18. So 206 plus 18, Royal Guard needs to be 1 speed above that. Otherwise, it breaks the rotation. So all you need to understand is how things work together. They don't necessarily need to be exact speeds, but the idea is if you copy these speeds, it will work, right? Like this guy's got more crit rate than he should have. It's probably just the way that it's worked out. This Cold Heart build is pretty good. You could probably go for more crit damage if you can get it, right? More crit damage. Just keep in mind, whenever you're using both Royal Guard and Cold Heart, use the max HP option, yeah? So if you go to Cold Heart here, I pick up one of my Cold Hearts, and I need to do like 235 speed. When I'm in the battle tab, pick boss. The boss stats here are, where is it? 350 speed level. The boss's defense is 4335, 2690, 550. The HP is important here. What you're going to say is prioritize defensive stats after hitting 10%. I'm going to be hitting it with this and this. What this will do is it will give you the crit damage number required for you to hit the 10% cap, because you can't deal more than 10% of the boss's max HP, so there's no point you actually building more crit damage for that unless you need it. Use that mode here. You don't need to do this because there's no AoE damage reduction. You do need to have these here. Now you could decide if you wanted to, just because you can't guarantee the debuffs, that you don't have the debuffs on there. That will just make you have more crit damage. But that option there will basically mean hit the minimum crit damage required for you to hit 10% all the time, minimum, and then put all the stats into defensive capabilities. Because after that, you know, you could say that there's some value in having attack for her other abilities. Like this A1 is pretty good for attack, but it's not crazy damage. She's there to basically nuke with the 10%. So that's what I would say. Sort out your Cold Heart first, because your team is going to be make or break as to how good you can get your Cold Heart in Lethal Savage, or so like Lethal Cruel or Savage Cruel, or Lethal Crit Damage, Savage Crit Damage, right? Yeah, don't do that for Seer. This is only for the boss. Dutchy's right. Don't do that for Seer. That's for Cold Heart and Royal Guard. Royal Guard, not so much, actually. It's mainly for Cold Heart, because Royal Guard would benefit from more on the wave, right? Because he's doing takedowns on the wave. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend you do this for Royal Guard. Do it for Cold Heart, because Cold Heart is never going to max HP the wave, and she only can ever hit 10% on the boss, so you might as well cap it at 10%. You know, that's what I would suggest. So, but that's what I would start with there. But in terms of like the rest of the, you know, you've got the champs for it. You've got Lydia here, so that's cool. You've got a Royal Guard. You've got 3 of them. So if you wanted to build a dedicated Royal Guard just for Finite, you could. You've got Cold Heart. You've got 3 of them. If you wanted to build just one Cold Heart for Finite, you could. And then you've got Renegade. You've got 3 of them. You can build one. Like I've got 3 Renegades for 3 different purposes, so you've got the options there. So I hope that helps. I hope that has been of help to you. That's kind of like what I would recommend you do. You will probably find your teams will run somewhere in the region of 1 minute 30. which is still massive improvement over 2 minutes 30, right? 2 to 2 minutes 30. And then you can work on building it faster and faster, getting things like more souls, getting things like more damage in there. If you can get your seer away from, like, I'll do a quick run now to show you what I mean. Okay, like obviously my seer is giga charged, so don't expect that you're going to be able to pump this kind of number. And obviously I can run with far less buffs. I'm overkill on this wave, but you can see the concept working here, right? I'm using Ghost Spawn because Ghost Spawn is 100% guaranteed. You can use Lydia and it's still okay. But what I want to show you is how the value of the damage from having War Master on your seer for when it comes to the boss. Now this team is not as fast as it could be because I've just thrown in Krutraxa for the sake of it. Krutraxa is in like a weird build. But let me show you this now. Let's just get the decreased defense out. Watch War Master here. She didn't War Master. Of course she didn't. Let's try again. Watch War Master here. War Master. She didn't War Master again. Good lord, Seer. I'm trying to show people what you can do. Right, try again. Oh, she's not doing War Master there. Seer, you're doing my nuts in. Try again, Seer. Come on. War Master. Here we go. War Master. 100,000. That's what I was trying to show you. So actual War Master proc does more damage than her actual on hit. That, if you get, like you saw, she did 3 attacks. A lot of people don't like her using, a lot of people don't like using the A1 on Seer. They'll leave the A2 open because they don't want the time lost running because she's quite a slow. But for me, because I've got a 6 out of 6 Seer and because she hits so freaking hard, I can actually put more attack percentage in her. And her A1 is basically doing 200,000 damage. It makes it worth the animation. That's quite a slow animation. Look, there you go. 84,000, extra turn, 83,000. That's without increased attack, obviously. When we have increased attack, it'll improve. Bit of karma burn there. Really awkward. So you see another hit here. 242,000 her A1 just did. Because she's got increased attack now. 236,000. War Master makes a difference. If you can fit it on her, War Master will make a difference. Right, let's just go throw some Minnow into Aox. And don't sleep on your Allure either, right? Allure's A1 can do an awful lot of damage with War Master. So, getting your Allure up to 60 and putting War Master on her, that's more time saving. A lot of the time lost on Finite is basically killing the boss. So anything you can do to speed up killing the boss is big. So... yeah, it's massive. Yeah, so Allure is one of those champions. She does her job at 50. So she's a luxury. So basically, all of these things that we're talking about are luxuries, right? There are things that you can add that will enhance your account, but you don't need to do them to make them work. But they will help speed it up. I'm doing masteries on Aox to try and solidify the Iron Twins team, which is pretty stable now. Now that I've got masteries on Tatura, I'm doing masteries on Aox. I've booked Aox now as well, so basically Iron Twins is pretty safe. No problem. Let us know how it goes. Let us know what you get up to, how fast you can get it. But that's kind of like where I do. My focus will be trying to definitely. By the way, Green Virus, your focus next rotation. Get to 120 Doom Tower hard next rotation and farm. Build a Dark Faith farm team, like I was talking about earlier. Lethal gear is where my seer is at. Farming Savage gear is really hard. You can probably get access to better lethal gear from farming Dark Fae, because you can control a little bit of the quality that you get out of those gear slots. If you can farm like a lower Dark Fae, that's fine, but 120 hard really gives you a lot, and if you can get up to 120 hard, it's not that much difficult. It's not much harder to farm it. And even if it's not like 100%, it doesn't really matter because it's normally quick. You can just rerun it. Like sometimes my Dark Fae team will fail because maybe the Fulgur didn't kill enough on the wave. She didn't get enough for a Whirlwind of Death. But it doesn't matter because I'll just rerun it and it takes 3 minutes. 2 minutes, something like that. My Dark Fae team is about 2 to 3 minute runs, so it's not a problem. How long did it take you to farm such a good gear from, say, a lore called up for these dungeons? I mean, you know, I've been playing the game for 3 years, but Doom Tower's only been out for like, you know, 18 months is where Dark Fae's been out for, and we only get it once every 3 rotations, and she is in Savage, so if you think I've only really farmed Doom Tower top for, say, like 4 rotations, and I've managed to get a full strong build of Seer, I will say I have an unhealthy ability to roll gear to the extent that I think it is detrimental to my ability to pull champions. I can roll gear better than anyone else for some reason, so maybe that's a bit of a factor, but even on normal, not so much on normal man-made, but definitely you want to be farming Dark Fae even on normal if you can't farm hard. Like, you always want to farm the highest difficult, highest stage. So if you can farm stage 10 or stage 40 normal, stage 40 hard, that's better than stage 120 normal. Right? You want to farm the highest stage of the highest difficulty for Dark Fae, because it just gives you access to really good gear. What's a good speed for Seer? It depends on the tune, Italian. Like, I've got mine at 214 or 224. It just depends on how you build the team out. But normally it's somewhere in the region of 2 to 200. It's like 180 to 210, give or take, depends on the speed tune. Yeah, like, you don't need a 100% Dark Fae team. All you need is a team that can do it at least 80% success rate and do it fast. Right? And what you do, and this is how you run the system, you save all of these rank and rarity charms until clan versus clan, like I have. And then all you would do is you will go down here and you will just craft them. And what you probably want to do in the first instance is you go gauntlets, and I want crit rate. Why? Because you're trying to force crit damage gauntlets with crit rate substat. The biggest value is trying to build some lethal gear sets that are crit rate substats, so crit damage primary, crit rate substats in gloves, in lethal, and use rank and rarity. That is how I would be trying to get it until I got like 2 or 3 crit damage gloves at 6-star with crit rate substats and at least 2 crit rate, or like at least 1 crit rate substat roll. So it means that now I can go into my account over here and you'll see like I've got, like, you'll see how much I've got here, right? So I'll basically go, I've got lethal. I want crit damage, primary, crit rate, substats. See what I mean? I've got 1, 2, I've got 3 of them. Very hard to get this combo. That's what you want to try and get. Rank and rarity charms are very important. Sav, how much would you charge for your services of gear rolling? Oh god. The problem is I'd probably like accidentally leak your account. I'm not very good at gear cleansing. Like, I should really be doing this now. But I might wait until next CVC. That was a bad roll. It's worth it. It's good. Bad. Flat. Bad. Bad. Good. Bad. I'll wait until next CVC, but I'm always building up my rank and rarity and only ever using them on Defiant set, Bolster set, Lethal set, and that's about it really. Sometimes I'll use it on Guardian if I need to, but I got so many Guardian feathers that I can probably just burn through it, right? I don't really need to use the rank and rarity, but it's very hard to get good lethal gear, so I always use it. Sometimes I use it on Fortitude as well, Guardian I've got loads of really at the moment these days. Fatal I don't need. Untouchable I've got loads of. Affinity Breaker is bad. I've got so much perception stuff I don't use it for that. I will use it for swift parry basically on the core hammers because core hammers are actually quite hard to get hold of. But farm next rotation, farm the heck out of Doom Tower. Try and climb Doom Tower hard as quickly as possible. The more days you have it open, the better. It just means that you get access to better gear. And the hardest part with a lot of it is getting good access to ignore defense gear. Lethal gear. Like you can see, like, out of my lethal gear, I've got... Let's see. Baron is in lethal gear. At 6.8k defense, 288% crit damage. Why? Because he's got crit damage gloves with crit rate. We've got crit rate, crit rate, crit damage, crit rate. I've got Phenax. Yeah, we've got another one in here. So obviously she's wearing some pretty bonkers gloves. Crit damage and cruel. You don't need excellent gear, you just need good gear. Something as good as that is big. She's actually in a resistance chest, believe it or not. It's crazy. Why? Because crit damage, crit rate, and cruel. Doesn't matter the primary stat for the chest. It'd be nice if it's attack percentage. She's actually in a HP banner. Because I got a triple roll. It doesn't really matter. Ideally you want accuracy, but it doesn't matter. The only thing that Seer cares about is crit damage. I've got another build here with Phenax. Again, he's using my other crit damage gloves. Bit of speed. Bit of a different type of build. A bit more hybrid. But normally the pathway to being able to build a lethal or savage build is crit damage gloves with crit rate substat. Because if you don't have the crit rate substat, you've got to really stretch the build to try and find enough crit rate. And then you've got to find it in if you haven't got it in the lethal or savage set, you've got to go find it in another set, which might break your chance of getting a cruel set. And that extra 5% is quite valuable. I always value cruel over crit damage. Right, let's jump back over to the free-to-play for a bit. Yeah, rank and rarity are like Duchy. It's one of my main complaints about the Forge Pass is I don't feel like we get enough rank and rarity charms out of the Forge Pass. I feel like that's where they could do a lot of improvement. Is just give us more rank and rarity charms out of the Forge Pass. So I did do something today, which I don't know if it was the right decision, but you'll notice my gem count went down a lot. I fully upgraded the gem mine. I don't know if it's the right decision, to be honest, but I did it. Purely because I felt like I've got another 100 days in me on this free-to-play at least, so therefore I think it'll start paying off. And now I've unlocked pretty much everything. I felt like I'm just sitting around with these gems. I might as well start getting a bit of investment. It's not like I needed the gems to be burnt, and I'm not going for the fusion, so I can probably rebuild this. And I just felt like I might as well start getting the debt paid off, because long term it's always going to pay off, right? I just made the decision. I was like, I already had rank 1 unlocked. I just took the other 2 up. So it will generate gems for me now. It's worth it, I think. I think it's the right decision. I don't know for certain, but I think it's the right decision. I really need to start upping the ante a little bit in terms of trying to get gold bars. I need to rebuild this team. I don't think I can beat these, but we'll try it. Yeah, I mean, it really sucks that they've locked all the good rewards behind 3v3. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Okay. Can you, like, debuff my Altan so I can show how good it is? No, you're just going to kill it. Oh, I can revive. And we die. Alright. Husk will stun him up. Mr. Edidaithi, one shot. Oh, we didn't one shot that, did we? Weak it? Honestly, Mr. Edidaithi earlier was like taking turn after turn after turn. I was like, dude, take a chill. Seriously, calm the hell down. Yeah, I just need to get more of these. I'm up to like 31 fragments, which is not bad out of 60, like out of 67 days. It's not efficient, but it's not the worst. I need to do this on reset as well. Get my ancient shard. I'm up to like 6 ancient shards and a sacred. I pulled 2 of my voids for a cheeky Chris, just in case, I thought maybe I'll get a cold heart or something. I didn't. Didn't happen. So, would you not consider opening the sparring pit to get more food? The sparring pit is awful. The exchange rate for XP, you can see I don't even put a champion in it. It's pretty poor. I would not recommend. Certainly, this is an expense you don't need to have. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Right, let's go to arena. You can see, look, my arena defenses have been holding me pretty steadily in gold 3, so I'm doing quite nice. I'm finding harder teams here, but I can pretty much beat a lot of good teams. If I go first, I can pretty much one-shot teams. Like here, I'll go first, drop the turn meter, get some stunnage out. Dithey comes in. Oh. Got a bit unlucky there, as long as Dithey... The nice thing about Dithey is he's force affinity, so just as much as this dude is a nightmare, because you can't kill him, well, the good news is he's strong affinity to all of the magic nukers, so even if he does take a hit, it's pretty safe, We're probably going to lose, though, because, Ultimate Death Knight is an absolute pain. Damn it. Too tanky. Hosquill's not 100% stun, right? If Hosquill was 100% stun, we win there. But because he's not 100% stun, there's no guarantee that this works. Like, that's perfect. I win this one every single time now. We also got reaction procced against someone, which I don't really know who it was on that last fight. But like these starter teams, pretty comfortable. If you're using Dark Hellhades to nuke Dark Fae, would you go Hero Soul, Crushing Rend, or Cruelty? I'd go Hero Soul for Dark Fae. If you're requiring Dark Hellhades to kill your clones, then you will go Hero Soul. If you want to kill the boss quicker, you will probably go either Cruelty if you don't have it in the team, or Phantom Touch. Gotta love a bit of Dithey. He's so good. He is the... when Hellhades was asking everyone, like, which champion are you most surprised at? This is the guy for me. He's so good. I actually underestimated how much of an impact. I'm so glad I chose him over Gembo, because I feel like he has more utility than Gembo. Like, we might not kill these because, like, it's Duchess. So AoE might be a factor. Okay. This is where it'll struggle now. Unless he goes absolutely nuts on AoE, we're kind of screwed, because we can't actually get access to people. Oh, we have gone nuts. We killed the Reviver. It's whether or not we actually survive this. Oh, it's actually kind of weak. So now we got those extra turns. Let's just take you out. We get background. Is a backup AoE decreased defense. One shot. So good. You'll miss ride or die. Yeah. So if I build the same Spider 10 hard as you, can it kill stage 1 to 9? Yes, it probably can, Ruz. Just check the speed tune a little bit, right? You might need to adjust it for the speeds if it changes. But it should work fine, yeah. You just might need to scale it a little bit. So I pulled my 10 voids because I knew I was on my mercy counter to try and get Chris. Got my second void Lego, a second Arb. The second Arb is not the worst thing in the world, Gore. I use an Arbiter for Ganeshak and other stuff. Like, having a second Arb is not the worst. Yeah, I mean, they need to do a quality life on but the pit and the marketplace, right? Both of them need it. What do you think of reflex on Drexar? Yeah, it's fine. Reflex is good if you're only using 2 abilities, like the basic ability and the active ability. If you're using more than 1 active ability, then Relentless is better than Reflex if you need to get background to skills. How would you build Valk for Arena? High defense and a bit of damage is not bad. And accuracy, because you can drop turn meter. She's a hard one to build, but she's pretty good. If she's to Nuclear Clones Taiku, then definitely Hero Soul. Phantom Touch only hits 1 target. Phantom Touch will only ever proc on 1 target. So. But yeah, if you're using it to kill the clones, definitely you want to use Phantom Touch, Hero Soul. Because you'll get the extra 9% damage to guarantee you kill everyone. If you don't kill everyone, your team fails 9 times out of 10. You don't have Gnishak. Yeah, I mean, what I meant is it's not terrible to have a second Arbiter. It can lead another team for you, even if she's not the fastest. I don't think I'm going to do this because they've blocked my damage. So I can't stun anyone. Maybe I can kill. Ah, look how close I was. Wasn't fast enough. I need to re-gear all of my champions basically on this account now. Because I'm capable of beating all of these teams. I just need to be faster. And I can get a 290 speed Diabolist if I max her out. I just need to be, like, this is the problem now. I'm gonna have to deal with this nonsense. I wasn't fast enough. I can stun him though. Problem is I can't ignore anything. But I can have a 50% chance of removing some debuffs. So I can do that. He's so good. I'm kind of screwed right now. I killed 2 people. It's not going to matter because I'm going to get 1 shot. But hey. Just need to be faster. I've lost a lot of points there, haven't I? How much did I gain? Not a lot. So that's my goal at the moment, is to try and get her faster. But I might... I honestly... Yeah, this is a free-to-play account. I might 60 Diabolist. I'm honestly thinking about it. Because she gets so much base speed. She's at like 112. 60 Myrmidon and 60 Diabolist. Right, back to where we're farming. I'm farming the damn Relic Keeper. I need the Relic Keeper champions. I actually wonder if Mr. Dythe is just a faster campaign farmer for me now. He's really quick at clearing things because he gets so many extra turns. We'll have a look now, we'll try it. Because this is slow. I need to farm the champions for the Relic Keeper because Sunday I'll be able to do the Void Keep. And then it's basically a free run through to the end of the current set of missions. So, just got summoned Yakal. Nice. Congrats. Yakal's really good for, like, Yakal's a very strong carry. Come on. Let's try Mr. Dythe, shall we? Let's just see how good he is at doing this. He doesn't like to use his A3 first all the time, which is a bit weird. Like, you see, he likes to use his A2 first. Which is a bit annoying. But I mean, like, look at him go. He's a machine. Look at him. Look at him go. Just like, no stress, no pressure. I got you. I got you, bros. He's not even in that good a build either. He's in a really bad build. I should maybe entertain, like, rebuilding him now. I wonder how good I can get him built. Let's have a look. just get another level 2 in here. I'm trying to farm for that. It's so frustrating. I cannot get this champion. I've been running this stage for a good, like, I think I've done about 50 runs on it today to try and get the champion. I need to log out. I'm in the wrong account here. Go, champions. What's the best build you recommend for Harima? Pulled her from 11. Congratulations. Harima is very strong as a high defense arena nuker. So you want to build her for damage. Savage, ideally. You want to have her savage lethal, and you want her to be basically built like a machine with defense. I'm actually thinking, by the way, Aether Red. I might jump, when we jump back to the main account at reset, just to finish the fusion warm-up, I might just instantly 60 a Mistrider Dithea on my main account and run it in Bat Eater, because that's actually what I wanted to show, what I got. I picked up something that makes it interesting that I might decide to do. His A1 is like, there's so much utility in his build, because the thing is, his A1 has a 60% chance of removing one random buff. So there you saw, you got rid of the unkillable, then got an extra turn, and then decided to kill her. If he places a decreased defense on everyone, he gets an extra turn, and he places at 100% chance. He always gets an extra turn here. He gets increased accuracy aura, so there's a much easier chance to, like, it's just like a huge, like, he's such a well-rounded champion. I'm really, really impressed with him. The only thing I need is better gear, I guess, because, like, I'm limited on banners. I've one attack banner, so he's wearing the only attack banner I've got. I've got only the crit damage amulet. That's the only thing he's wearing, and I've only got one attack ring. He's wearing that one. So he's basically wearing the only gear that I have that can fit. I need to run him in. I prefer to run him in Relentless. I feel like that's a good place to run him in. I've got him built at 170 speed at the moment. But I might just basically take him off priority 1 and just see what kind of damage we can do. Just run it in the background. That's not the one I want. He does drop from here, doesn't he? I'm after this dude. So that I can actually fuse Justicia. Fuse the Relic Keeper. Oh, wow. Look at this build. I lose a lot of attack, though. Why do I lose a load of attack? Am I on the right screen here? Yeah, so basically we're running kind of like aim of 170 speed. That would give me a 5% damage increase. Believe it or not a lot more than what I've got right now. Like, what I got at the moment is 138, 4.6k to attack. Assuming everything's maxed, which it mostly is. I guess the ring's not maxed. So I actually don't gain an awful lot by changing up. It would basically mean moving to the boots here, which I don't really want to commit lifesteal boots. Mind you, I didn't set the battle tab, did I? It's probably about right. Decrease defense. Increase attack, increase accuracy. We're basically including everything. And that would be no accuracy as well. Which is kind of not. I just don't really think that. I don't really know if it's worth it. I'm not gaining much damage. But I would basically have to rebuild my Kale. Yes, that is a triple roll helmet. And it is a crit damage, gloves, yes. Like, I don't know what it is on my account. I can triple roll my free to play. I've earned so much energy to skill out Eris from dupes to get unkillable team. Yeah, Eris is one of those you just have to go through. If you were a bit of a noob when it comes to building speed tuning clan boss teams, is it easier to do a Hellhades secret comp at 4-3 or one with the Razzlevarg Skullcrusher combos? I think Hellhades and Seeker is more forgiving for gear, because you don't have to worry about staying alive, whereas Razzlevarg Skullcrusher you have to worry about staying alive. So Hellhades Seeker is more forgiving in terms of gear. It's much, once you hit the speeds, you're just trying to find damage, that's it. Is Defiant Set good for Solo Ice Golem, Bad L? Yeah, I mean, Defiant Set is amazing everywhere because most of the content you face is AoE. So it's basically flat 15% damage reduction. It's really good. I don't know. I don't really think it's worth it. He's got way too much crit rate right now. But I'd lose 835 attack. Why am I losing so much attack? Where am I losing the attack from? Oh, it's because I'm taking him out of crit damage glut boots. What if I just drop it down to 165 and maybe put like a 2 glyph on there or something? What would that do? That would be better. That's more like it. So we'd be building that. I wonder if we actually have any decent gear. Let's just have a look, see if we've got anything chilling that we need to check. We got the I got the speed gear from the Nightmare campaign, and I double rolled a speed shield here, which I was pretty happy with. They're okay, not crazy. Triple rolled a chest, and then we rolled that. I'd take that. It's not so bad, right? This is all about whether it rolls that crit rate. Oh, it did. Nice. That's good. Bad. It's probably worth keeping because it's 6-star. Bad. I gotta remember, I can't just sell things because they're bad on this account. Look at that. That's great. Not ideal, have to say. So do we have any attack percentage chests with crit rate? Not really. It's that one or that one. And where does that go if I take it up? Oh, of course it rolled on the defense. That's pretty poor. I don't know. I can't decide. Yeah, my gear rolling is crazy. This could be a big improvement. 171 speed. I feel like that's good. I'd have to rebuild Kale though. Which is fine, I think. When you're doing spider hard mode with Akenton, would his passive do more damage to the boss if all spiders had poison sensitivity placed on them, such as Mesidic Priest Orn? No, it only matters, WD-40 Gaming, to the target that receives the poison damage. So it basically takes the value of the damage that happens to the target and then does it to everyone. So as long as poison sensitivity is on the queen, then all of the rest of them will take poison equal with poison sensitivity. It's always about the person receiving the poison, and then it's basically a 1-to-1. It's 100% of that damage gets dealt to all of the targets. I don't know. It would basically improve my damage output on Mist Rider Dicey by 18%. I feel like I have to, right? It would be good. It would improve him big time. Because he'd still be in Relentless. The issue is I just don't have any good crit damage amulets. I have one other crit damage amulet. And I have one other attack banner, which is 5-star. So it's better to keep the one I've got. 18% is a big chunk, right? I'm going to do it. Even though it's weird to like, it's going to be a bit traumatic in a second because I'm going to have to basically figure out a solution for Kale. Keep those. Not really using Rhonda at the moment. Crit rates. Defense percentage. And then these are my best gloves as well. Why aren't you showing up crit rate speed? Why is it showing me the Armiger helmet and I don't have it showing up crit rate? Oh, because it's got defense percentage. What am I talking about? There you go. Have that. And then that. No, I have no gear cost. Right, who did I break? Rhonda, you need Relentless back. So give Rhonda a Relentless shield. You can have that. Enjoy. I'm not using Armiger at the moment. That's fine. Now I need to basically figure out what I'm going to do with Kale. Because Kale basically just lost all of his damage. Now, it's not a problem because I'm not using him as campaign farmer anymore. So in all honesty, he doesn't need crit damage gloves. I could just throw him in a good crit rate speed gloves, like something like this would be great, I think. And then that gets him up to enough crit rate, which means I can drop crit rate on the chest. Put him in like a defense percentage chest. Do we even have a defense percentage lifesteal chest? No. But HP percentage. I still feel like he needs to stay in lifesteal. That's why I've kept him here. Okay, let's go over to here instead. Got some better options here. Gembo, don't really need crit rate anymore. Accuracy and speed is what I'd like. Don't really have anything over there for accuracy and speed, which is kind of annoying. Of course I went resistance. Of course it did. Another triple roll. Another triple roll. I wonder, actually, I'm going to do a check now. How many actual triple rolls I've got as a percentage? It must be insane by now. I've got so many of them. I mean, I don't really know how to rebalance this build. He's in a decent build. He just is in a bit of a no man's land build. Like, he's a bit like, I need to change the chest out basically. The chest needs to be a lifesteal chest. I just don't have a good lifesteal chest at all to change him out to. So then it's kind of like, well, maybe it needs to be a HP chest, and I'm like, well, I don't really have a good HP chest either. I could swap it out to that, but then I lose the lifesteal. So if I try that on, then I lose the lifesteal in the weapon. So the weapon needs to be a lifesteal, and I have no good weapons for lifesteal. Because I don't need the crit rate. I need the accuracy. And that didn't roll accuracy. But it did roll that, I guess. It's not a bad build to swap to. Rebalances his HP. It makes him less damage, but gives him a little bit more crit damage. Gives him a bit tankiness. We'll go with that. I'm preparing him for needing to be Agreth, and he'll need resistance. Let's have a look. How many have I got? Right, so I've got on my account. Let's just live refresh this a second. What are your thoughts about Goffred and Beauregard in a stall arena comp? Yeah, they're good. If you can get Beauregard going, Madman, he's good. The problem is, can you get Beauregard going? That's the biggest challenge with Beauregard. Can you actually get him to get a turn? If you can, then he's good. If you can't, then it's a bit of a problem. Because then you basically index in twice the amount of champions into something to try and do it. Goffred will help him get a turn, but yeah. Should I put books into Cythalia, Pintroy, or Scartosis? No to Scartosis, unless you're really early game, but I can't imagine you will. Pintroy is a universally great champion. Cythalia is a bit more of a specialist. Generally, I think Pintroy will have some endgame capabilities in Hydra, Iron Twins, so potentially Pintroy. It depends. Like, Dutchy's right. Without knowing where you want to push, it's hard to tell you. So, I've got 728 artifacts in my account. Of which 17 are triple rolled. and 137 are double rolled. 17 triple rolls out of 720 artifacts. That's insane, right? For a 60-day all count. That's very insane. No, Dutchy, you answer them away. It saves me having to do them. I'll just come in, Dutchy, with I am Saf and I approve this answer. But it is a classic thing, right? A lot of people say, oh, is this guy better? What should I use this? And I'm like, well, without knowing your context, it's really hard to make a really good answer. 7-month-old account, 1 quad roll. How many triple rolls? Does the raid? No, it shouldn't do court. There, I wouldn't have thought so. It depends. If you never completed or started the game, maybe they did, but I wouldn't have thought they would have. It's more likely a bug. Look at him go. Look at him go. He's such a beast. Now, can we actually get the champion, please? Raid. 42. That's not bad. It was level 34. Weird. Maybe there was something. Maybe something went wrong. See, that's the value of his A1 there, right? He's removing the unkillable from the skull crowns. It's adding a hell of a lot of value. Yeah, so Dutchy, I haven't spent a single one of my legendary books on this account yet. I've got 2 legendaries, but I'm like, they're not... I feel like I need to hold them until I can put it on a champion. That will 100% get me Ultra Nightmare running, or at least Nightmare running, right? I need to have them on a champion that's going to give me access to the books before I spend the books, because there are finite resources at the moment. I actually can't get enough rare books, believe it or not. I need more rare books. Oh, I got stunned. That's annoying. I have to wait a turn now. Never mind. Look at him go. Extra turn, extra turn, extra turn. Please give me the champion. If I get a Brogni, instant book. I actually didn't realize that Eobard had got a Brogni, and I can imagine it's made his acceleration of his account way better. Because I remember his first shard pull was horrific. He had such awful luck, and he'd saved, and he'd waited, and he'd watched everyone else pull champions around him and not been able to progress. And his first ancient pull was awful. He had nothing. So to get Brogni probably was a massive relief for him, I bet. Extra turn, extra turn. It's so good. Why isn't Taris on the website under increased buff duration champs? They all need to be, they should be there, but, you know, it's probably we've missed it reason. We are actually currently, if you've noticed, a lot of the champion guides are getting reviewed. I've been going through a bunch of them. I've done about 300 of them in the last 3 days. My brain is like melting from doing it. So we did a big update on that Friday window to actually update all the hard mode dungeon ratings. We are now just going through making sure the champions formatting is correct. Once that's done, we then got a plan to basically update the tier list so that the ratings are filterable. There's a few bugs on the tier list we need to solve as well. But we will then be revamping all of the index pages and bringing a brand new fancy... basically, I got plans for a really fancy tier list. A really fancy filtering function where you can basically find any champion that does anything. Which should be revolutionary. But as with everything in my life, it's when will I have time to actually do all the cool things I really want to do in my life? Look at him go. He's a beast. He's such a good champion. Honestly, like, I can't tell you how good of a champion Mr. Adodythe is. I've not, like, I can't remember I've been this excited about a champion other than Akimtum. This is how excited I am about Mr. Adodythe as a champion. He's on Akimtum tier for how good he is for me right now for this account. He can literally do everything. Look at him go. Look at him go. He's like, nah, you're not going to take turn. It's great. Sit down, all of you. You can get rare books from Clan Shop. Yeah, I know, but there's none in the Clan Shop. And I haven't got enough gold bars. I'm prioritizing gold bars for the Drexar because I have no AoE HP burners either at the moment. So I'm like kind of screwed. Yeah, I'll show Dythy's stats now once I finish this cycle here. The only problem with Brogni, Gothred, Beauregard, Mountain King, Madman is you have no agency in that team. So what I mean by agency is you have nothing to take control of the fight. You're depending on the fact that those champions are going to get a turn eventually. Well, one, I'm pretty sure Jorgid can just cut through some of them. Taras can cut through some of them. It doesn't really matter about resistance numbers and stuff. So, like, you haven't got anything like a Siphi gives you agency because you get control by boosting a little bit of turn meter. You get the ability to sleep. Same with Duchess, right? You can control targeting with Veil. Uko gives you agency with stun control. You need a champion in a team, even if you're a stall team, that's going to give you agency to control the fight. Because if you can't control the fight, you'll see what happened with Hellhades the other night when he was trying to test Nogdar. He has no ability to actually do anything because he's constantly getting slept or stunned or CC'd or something else. Eventually, it's going to fall off. Because remember, artifact sets don't require accuracy. So Gothred, Beauregard's resistance numbers are irrelevant to a stun set Uko or a stun set or frost set champion like an Ultimate Death Knight or something like that. So it's good, just be mindful of the fact that that team there has no agency. I wouldn't go Trunda. I would probably go Gala or Mountain King, if I'm being honest. Because I think they have more kill potential. But Trunda, the thing is, if you just want to stall out to get that Trunda nuke out, then Trunda's much better. So, but you always got to be careful when you're thinking about an arena team is, do I actually have something that can, like, your job is to build a team that can manage the fight. So take control of the way that the fight is going and actually being able to run what you want to run. You don't want a team that's just going to sit there and hope to God that it can do what it needs to do, because that will lose 9 times out of 10. God, look at him go. This champ is crazy. Oh, reset. Earbag got Brogni during the Supreme Elhain Summon Rush. Yeah, it was a massive upgrade. It's fine, it's good. It just means I've got lots of work to keep doing. You talk about quad roll. Was that the only speed or was that only speed of subsets? I didn't get a quad roll. I've only got triple rolls, but I got lots of triple rolls. No, Dythy just got added to the game. He's just a champion. I don't think he's a fusion champ. Elva, Oella, Dythy, Ruella for faction wars. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, Dutchy. I don't think anything is going to die in my Silver Watches faction between Elva and Oella. I just can't see anyone dies. Unless they put the boss that ignores 100% defense and just one-shots me, nothing dies on my team. I've got too much healing and too much revive. Oh, do you know what? I cannot get this stupid champion for love nor money. It's always one of those things you're like, oh, I can feed this champion. It's farmable. It only takes like 1,000 energy and 200 runs to do it. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I don't need these champ. Actually, I should keep them and use my chickens. Alex D, thanks for the super chat. As it stands right now, who hits harder, Jetney or Karato? Well, let me consult my little damage sheet. I know exactly how hard she hits. Have I got enough there? Oh, I do if I level up that 4-star a little bit. What do I get? Ooh, 500 energy. Throw it in my 4,000. My little spring return pack. I'm getting one more void shard tomorrow. Eat that up. Oops, I shouldn't have accepted that. I was dumb. Never mind. Yeah, whatever. Summon 30. Can't really do it yet. I look at the Soul Merchant on the free-to-play and I'm like, can't buy anything. So, yes. Surprisingly, I haven't put many points in, even though I feel like I've done a lot on the free-to-play. I have tried. I'm trying to be less of a burden to my clan. Right, let's just put this on normal while we run. Right, so you wanted to know how good she was against Karato. Well, Karato's AoE is... Make sure I'm on the right screen here. Karato. So Karato's AoE index is about 29,377. Based on everything we know about the fusion so far, I would put her at... So Genti's A3, in my calculation estimates, her A3 is at 24,312. Karato's AoE is at 29,000. So it's 25 is 29. Genti's A2 with that extra ignore defense bonus is at 30,000. So basically she kind of breaks even a little bit with Karato's A3 with the A2, but is a lot lower than the A3. The better comparison is Cleopteryx. She's basically like Cleopteryx, where Cleopteryx has this problem where her buff ability is weaker than her damage ability. So Cleopteryx, you kind of want to open with A2, but A3 hits harder by quite a bit. And she has a similar issue. You want to open with Jetney's A3, but actually the A2 hits way harder. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, I know you're on the Doom Tower screen. I was only checking quickly. She, like, put it like this. She's a decent damage dealer. She's on an Ethos tier damage deal. So what that basically means is she's in the A tier of damage nuking. But the problem is A tier is not good enough for top end arena. So she'll never break the platinum meta, which means you kind of put her in this category that she's a Goal 5 arena nuker. And pretty much anyone can do that. Like, I can do it with my sniper. I can do it with my Kale. I could do it with... Because I've just got gear, right? I can just basically put a champion, and it will probably do enough because you can still debuff at that tier. You can still do a bunch of different things. This is like mid Goal 5 lower, right? And the other factor you've got to weigh it against is most people probably just got Supreme Hellhades, right? So in terms of a Void nuker versus a Spirit nuker, Supreme Hellhades is just vastly superior. So you kind of have this situation where she's not going to be the top nuker. She's probably overkill for your middle to range because she's a good nuker, but you don't need her. Followed up by, then you go, well, okay, well, what does she do as effects? Well, all she does is drop defense and a little bit of stunnage. So you're kind of going, well, Deacon can do that. I can get that from a promo code. Stag Knight is good enough. Duke can do that. I can go farm War Maiden for the faction wars. So you're kind of like, well, do you... And the thing is, if you want her as a drop defense champion, you have to invest books to get the cooldowns down. Otherwise, the cooldowns like 5 turns and 4 turns are just too much. And also, you don't get the guaranteed chance. So is she worth 12 legendary books to basically do what a War Maiden can do for debuffs, or to basically do what any decent damage dealer can do? Probably not. Yeah, like your Carl is better. What you got to remember is, like, I think what a lot of people probably haven't factored in, she can't kill Rotus. She's Spirit Affinity. She cannot kill Rotus. And if you cannot kill Rotus, that's already a massive problem in Live Arena for anything, even in normal tiers, like Silver tier. If you can't kill Rotus in Live Arena, it's a big problem. So Spirit Affinity nukers, this is why, like, Ruel doesn't get used. If it was all about damage, Ruel would be used. Because Ruel outdamages even Hefrak. Ruel outdamages Jorgid. It requires the Hex debuff, and he's Spirit Affinity. So the combination of the needing the Hex and needing the Spirit, plus the fact you can't debuff, adding the fact you've got Resurgent, means that Ruel just doesn't work. God, look at Dithey go. He is just ruining this Doom Tower. I'll show the Dithey build off now. Someone asked for it. I'll show it before we'll finish this and I'll show it. I have Trundle and Ghostbone. I don't really need her. No. What are you going to use it for? Like, if you need a drop defense for Faction Wars, you just go farm War Maiden. It's rare books. Trunda's going to outdamage her every single time. Ghostbone is a better dungeon carry because he's got guaranteed decreased defense. So you don't really need it, do you? If I have Akentum and Ruel, is it worth trying to make a team from that use Akentum for the Hex? Yeah, you can do. If you want to, Kevin. I've just decided to use Ruel for the Hex to begin with because of the turn meter boost. But you can do it the other way around, absolutely. Mr. Edadithi, MVP of this account so far. Actually, once I get up there, I could probably get a good farm, a solo farm with Arogrim. Once I can farm regen gear. I can't really right now. What I would say though, Alex, if you normally can do fusions without a stress, it's still worth doing because it's like 500 champion chase points or 30,000 clan versus clan points, right? So it's still like, it'll be a fragment collector. So if you wanted to pull your ancients for a ×2 anyway, well, that's going to be one of the summon events. So you might not need to pull too much on the other one because you might earn enough fragments. That means you can take it easy on the next summon event. That's sometimes what happens with a champion fragment. One of the summon events can be taken lighter. You only need to go a little bit into it. They always split the fragments up into 2 components. There's no guarantee that it will. But I'll do it on my main account just because it's free points and I collect every champion. I wouldn't even imagine doing it on my free-to-play even if I could because I just don't think it's worth it. I'm not going to invest my only legendary books into a champion that Deacon and War Maiden can do. It's just never going to happen. That's why I haven't invested books in Rhonda, because Rhonda is just damage. She's not enough for me. Doesn't do enough. I had to build Rhonda as my area nuker when she came out because Abyss is forced and she couldn't kill Duchess. Yeah, so here's two angles, isn't it, Tycho? Arena, can you kill Duchess and can you kill Rotus? If you can't answer both yes, you're going to have a problem. Which is why you then end up going, well, I better get a Void Nuker then. Or Magic Nuker. It's why Candy always was like, I hate using Candy even though he's very popular, because half the time my Candy will always weak hit the enemy Duchess and then I'll lose because of it, because he can't kill the Duchess. Do you have any suggestions for who to pair with Taras in Arena without the top tier support champions? Buffers. Helmet is fine because you get an Arena Aura. You can buff him with anyone who double buffs. And Isala the Mourner would be an option. All you need to do is give him fuel. He doesn't need many buffs, he needs some buffs. So anyone in your team that can buff, build. Can Royal Huntsman A3 kill Duchess? That's the 100% ignore defense, right? Yes. If he's the right affinity. Yeah, Cardial's a great option. Ultimate Death Knight's not a bad option. You get 2 buffs. Got to remember as well, like, I think Stone Skin still counts. I'm not sure. I don't know if it has to be when you extend the buff. Here's a test. Can I do this? Right, so who do we take out? Let's take out him. Let's bring in Dithey. Let's try this. I should be able to just burst him, I would have thought. We'll see if Dithey just ruins him. Let's just do this. Might as well throw the stun out here. Save us some. This. Let's do this. Oh, he's nuking them. Oh, look at him go. He just took it. Oh, well. Come on then. Can he one-shot the priest? Yep. Well, rip this. I know it's only 40. I'm not proclaiming to be like the best player, but I mean, come on, like seriously. He's just like making a mockery of this game. There's nothing more infuriating than Coffin Smasher's A1. Honestly, it drives me mental how often he doesn't land. Well, Dithey kind of made that a bit of a joke, didn't it? Like, he's like, yeah. Maybe I can just use him in here, can I? No, rare champions only. Oh, look. Can I just, like, one-shot all the waves? Can he just solo this? Surely not. Surely not. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Here we go. Here's the problem. Problems. Problems exist. Okay, well, it was going well. So, technically he could if he didn't die all the time, right? If he just, like... I mean, to some extent, it's a little bit hilarious that he's almost capable of one, like, solo in this room on his own. If we just brought in some, like, fodder just to help him out a bit so he doesn't get one shot, probably is easier. Let's just do that. Take out the Grinch. Just do that. Wow, that was uncomfortable. I'm I mean, I could probably just one-shot him. Well, I was kind of hoping that wouldn't happen, but hey. We did it in 12 turns. How fast is that? Oh my god. Okay. 62 days in, or whatever it is. Take that, all you legendary pulling crazies. Where's Earbad? Oh, where's Odd One? Odd One's not on this list. Look at that. 12 turns. 12 turns. Twelve turns. It's kind of insane. I mean, obviously I'm not going to be like 3 turns, right? Because, you know. But hey, I'm not far off. I wonder what other rooms I can do. That one? Oh, I can do that a little bit. 3? Oh, I can do 3 as well. If we just throw in this. And that should be fine. Soften them up. Just do that. Nice. We want that extra turn. Just smash that. I guess we kill this. Extra turn. Some poisons. Who do we kill? Probably like the Astrolith. Oh, never mind. We've got an extra turn. Can we kill the Astrolith? Damn, that's why I wanted to kill the Astrolith, because the health swap. Oh, we'll probably lose this one now. We got unlucky there because we couldn't get... We got double weak hit on the Astrolith. Might as well just A1. A1. And then we just AoE. As easy as that. 15 turns. Where are we in the leaderboard? Oh, damn it. Not as fast there. Lady H is beating me up. Did it with 2, though. Boom. This person with... Grendel's got our best. Look at him rocking that. Yeah, I'm not doing this one. No thanks. Alright. What am I doing? So, the Mr. Edithy build, people want to know. Relentless, obviously. I have limited equipment. He's not even at full power yet. I should have noted. He's not even at full power. I haven't got the silver for this. No way that's going to work. Oh, we did. Oh, only 1 level. Rip. He's at 158 speed. 183% crit damage. 4.8k 3. But, I mean, obviously, I can glyph a lot of speed, which I haven't done yet. Which will be a big difference. And the ring needs to be upgraded. The chest needs to be upgraded. So, it's got masteries mostly. Booked. Oops. I have no silver. I literally have 746 silver. So, where am I at with the champion training tournament as well? Yeah, I think she's starting to lose it a little bit though. She's going well. I hope she keeps it up a little bit more. She's doing really well. She's enjoying it, I guess, a little bit. It does get stale in the mid game though. Oh, I need to snipe him. Look, Bloodhound is trying to snipe me. Let's go snipe him. Vergis does like, what, 3 or 4 buffs? You know. Isaga's good. Yeah, Isaga's good. Where should my epic books go? Hoskril or Aneri? Both are faction wars, the secret room champs. I think Aneri has more universal usage. Hoskril is if you kind of need a dungeon carry. If you need a dungeon carry, then Hoskril. Look how many extra turns he just... Like, he had another one to spare. I just can't get over it.
I'll get everything straight. Fix this mess that I've made. Someday.
Oh, come on, come on. There we go. Move the buff. Oh, that's funny. I cannot for the life of me get this damn... Yeah, it's just frustrating. I need this champion. On this thing. Not the champion that you want. Game. I actually need some silver back because I just remembered I have to upgrade some artifacts for the damn fusion prep thing. So I need to find some silver again. So many extra turns. Oh, give me the champion. Extra turn for you. Should I build Dave or Stag Knight? Or Coroner? Depends what you need. If you need an AoE drop attack and drop defense, there's no one much better than Stag Knight. Stag Knight carried my main account way back in the day. Dave is a pretty good carry though for Provoke, but he does need Manaya a little bit. Not a lot, but he does get a lot stronger with Manaya in the team. Extra turn for you. Getting a lot of value out of Cycle of Violence as well. The amount of times I can get my cooldowns back. Figured out the refill thing, gone on it, pulled 3 ancients, got a geo, don't have a geo on my 1-year-old main. Yeah, I mean, it was like the account that I tested the Ronda thing on Gort. I basically pulled 1 ancient or 2 ancients on the 1+1, and I got a Sisia, a Norog, and then I pulled 2 more ancients to get the Ronda. I'm like, I can't even get a legendary on the free to play. Should I build Mist Rider or Stag? Again, it's like Mist Rider's more damage. For me, he's like forming the main carry of my team. I'm using him in arena as a nuker. Stag is more of a debuffer, but he can do some decent damage. One thing it would be dependent on is if you needed a single target decrease speed, because if you need that, then Stag is obviously very good. But I mean, like, you can see the value of like Mr. Adadathi in a good build. He's not even in a crazy build, he's in a good build. I need silver so badly. Yes, I know. You're trying to sell me the silver that I need, because I need to do this. How many points is it? I need 15. It's like a level 12. It's a lot of silver. Don't have that much silver. Can I do it? Nope. Oh well. Time to sell some bad gear. Nope. Ah. I'm actually quite tired, and I just don't want to have to deal with this, like, stupidity thing, because I have no silver. Ugh. Rough. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there. I'm getting pretty tired. Bonus stream. I will probably try to stream tomorrow. If I don't, then it might be because I'm just too tired and I got too much on. But yeah, it was cool. I'm in Wales, yeah. I live in Wales. It's cool to play a different game. No, I won't burn Clan Gold on my free-to-play. I'd rather keep it for energy and accessories. I can just farm it. I just need to run the campaign. But I would like to try and make a 6-star in the champion training before the end of the CVC. We'll see. We'll see. Myrmidon's about to be like ready to upgrade. So, but yeah. Anyway, guys, it was nice hanging out, playing a different game, and yeah, good luck with the rest of the CVC. I will be back probably tomorrow, but if not, we'll see. Maybe I'll do it. We'll see what happens. It depends how tired I am. But yeah, have a good evening.